We are on the home stretch in the 2020 election. Welcome, everybody. I am Brian Glenn, and this is Brick Suit.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, you are a major rock star in the political world. Well, joining us, we are here in Bullhead City, Arizona, getting ready for once again another rally. And as we are days away from the most critical election in American history, the mood cannot be set as well as it is today.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a groundswell of support for President Trump. I mean, he's climbing in the polls. People are realizing that the media is lying to them about the degree of support that he has. And that makes sense, because when you look at all the people and how they've manifested their support for President Trump, completely organically. I mean, we've seen voters for Trump. We've seen interstate parades for Trump. You name it. There's been a group supporting President Trump very publicly and very conspicuously, and that never squared with the polls. And, you know, while this is happening, I think we're just doing great. I mean, I'm very optimistic.
So am I. And we actually talked about this on the way down here last night to Bullhead City about the love for this president. And this is not something that's kind of a couple guys screaming out, "I love you." This has turned into a massive message that the American people love our president.
It's completely true, and I really think it's because for a long time we've been told by the media that it's not okay to love America, that America is somehow, the media will have you believe that somehow it's fundamentally flawed, that there's some form of, they'll throw around the words like systemic racism, they'll talk about the need for reparations, but really America has nothing to apologize for. We are the greatest nation on earth, and we have been since 1776. And President Trump has been there. He's the one who's figuratively raised the flag and given patriots in America somewhat really like almost permission to love America again. And it's something that I've seen at rallies that I went to before I was doing commentating work, but people would just randomly yell out, "We love you, President Trump." And sometimes, you know, he would answer back. He didn't always hear it, but
I don't think he was used to it, you know, because, you know, going into the election, it was so bitter, and the media, everybody was against him. So to hear a "I love you, President Trump" was quite honestly kind of an oddity. He wasn't used to seeing that.
No, and then in North Carolina a few weeks ago, that is when I heard the first organized chant really from the crowd that broke through "We love Trump," and it's crystallized. You know, people have realized that it's almost a proxy for loving America. Right. It really is. And the appreciation for President Trump goes beyond simple political affection. It's deeper.
Absolutely.
It's deeper.
And of course, we see it here up on the risers of thousands of people around us chanting, "Right Side Broadcasting, we love you." And you know what? We're a big part, I think, of this groundswell of support of getting conservatives, getting the message out. And that's why we appreciate you, the viewer, because we're only able to do this through generous donations like viewers right now watching us from around the world, really.
Correct. And I don't know if you know this, but right now we don't have local internet. So while normally we can read a lot of those donations off, right now we're kind of stringing it together. We're hoping that we can stay on air here. We're going to keep trying as hard as we can, but there's no hardwired internet for us right now.
Yeah, we're kind of MacGyvering it right now, but it's making it work. But yeah, like you said, we'd love to read the donations, but at this point we simply cannot do that. But we can tell people where to go to donate for sure.
Absolutely. So to make a donation, the easiest way you can do it is to go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. When you make a donation there, the bulk of it comes, so there's a small processing fee, but essentially we get the entire thing. Now, if you're on YouTube right now, you can use those super chat features to make a donation there, and that helps us as well. If you're a member of our Lincoln Club or a Reagan Club, you get access to emojis you can use on there. And if you're going to do it the old-fashioned way, you can always send us a letter. And I want to make sure I get this right. You can always send us a letter at RSBN 1550 Opelika Road. That's spelled Opelika, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. And you know, we're the little guy here. We're not like the other networks who have satellite trucks, who have pretty much unlimited budgets to travel around. Each of these rallies that we attend cost our company about $5,000 to $7,000, and we're almost entirely dependent upon your contributions to keep us going to these rallies. In this case, what we're lacking is the typical hardwired internet connection that we get from the rally organizers, and we believe it is not the fault of the rally organizers. It's basically the lack of infrastructure, hardwired internet infrastructure at the airport that's the drawback.
Absolutely, but we're making it work as much as we can. You're taking a look at right now of some of the overflow crowd here in Bullhead City, and of course, as always, watch. All I have to do, give me that Right Side Broadcasting shirt. Here we go. Here we go. I'm holding up a Right Side Broadcasting hat, and I would imagine we're going to get, we got a couple of waves and a couple of chants, so everyone loves Right Side Broadcasting Network, and of course, this is only brought to you by viewers like you and our sponsors, which we'll get to here in just a moment. And we're also going to have a very special guest, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, one of the leading conservatives groups, doing amazing work with our youth on college campuses, because when you really think about how important it is to get the mindset that's been indoctrinated in them through academia.
Absolutely. His group has done a tremendous job of basically offering counter programming for, as you said, the indoctrination that leftist educators and basically secular educators are having in our public schools, and especially in the university level.
Absolutely, and of course, he's doing amazing work. We'll have him. When he walked in here, every media outlet wanted to grab him. Of course, I'm an ambassador for the Falkirk Center, so I said, hey, bring Charlie over here, and we'll talk to him in just a second. But, to set the stage a little bit, we have both been flying across this country on a daily basis. I haven't spent time in one city more than 24 hours until I'm up to the next city. That's why it's crucial that we get as much donations as possible, because we're on the home stretch here, and we both read the latest research about polls, and you simply cannot believe the polls, and we saw this back in 2016. They wanted to convince us that Hillary Clinton had this thing locked and sealed.
That's right, and everybody really at this point, we know the polling's not accurate. We need to control what we can control ourselves. Get your vote taken care of. If you can vote still early and in person in your state, do that. Make a plan to get your vote in the bank, and then help others vote. Talk, as President Trump will say at this rally, talk to your family, talk to your coworkers, talk to your friends, get your boss, and go vote. And I do just want to apologize for the late start that we have in this coverage. We did have some technical issues we're working through. We don't have our usual amount of bandwidth for a connection. We had some severe audio issues, and we're just trying to work those through and hoping we can stay online.
Yeah, God willing, we'll stay online. Talking about early voting turnout, over 62 million people already have casted their vote via by the mail or in person. That's historic record high, so I can only imagine as we move closer to Election Day, we're going to see Gen Z has turned out big time. Now, of course, a lot of that happens from in the summertime. You had a lot of the George Floyd type stuff that got one base riled up, but another conservative base is getting riled up as well.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to see. It's because it was, it remained to be seen if it was going to happen, and it absolutely has. People are becoming much more enthusiastic, much more demonstrative. The support for President Trump is palpably increasing as we pan the crowds here. RSBN, famous for showing you the attendees. We've got our camera set up perfectly to show you all the support that's been here. We had people here at midnight last night, before that even, and the support is fantastic. Last night in Omaha, when I was catching the end of that rally, it was 33 degrees and there were over 20,000 people there. It's just amazing the degree of support coming out for our president.
And of course, there we go, right side. Hold up your hat right here. Well, you got the hat on. Yeah, you're wearing it.
I'm wearing it.
The love for Right Side Broadcasting, as you can see, is amazing. I even see a CNN shirt over there as well. I see you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. And of course, we all want 4 more years. That's exactly what the message is today. And that's the love that we get for this network. Now, 4 more years. That's what they want, is 4 more years. And of course, we're on the home stretch of this election, and it seems like every day more and more rallies get added to the list. I think we saw just today, we got Wisconsin added. We have, Michigan added again. There was several states that were just added.
3 more rallies added. I didn't have a chance to look at them all, but I know that as we get in this weekend, we can expect multiple states, multiple rallies. We might get up to 4 or 5, possibly even 6 a day. And I know that in the home stretch from Friday on, it's going to be rallies. We're going to be stretched to not to the breaking point. We're going to make it, but there's going to be a lot of rallies. We're going to try and cover every single one for you, bring you every single bit of the message that President Trump is bringing to America as best we can.
Absolutely. If you look online, you see a lot of the memes, a lot of the social media posts comparing the energy from the Biden-Harris campaign compared to what you're seeing here. And it's really ironic that as cars are pulling up into a parking lot, beeping their horns, that I don't think that's going to resonate well with that independent voter. Let's think about that for a second. The person that has not casted their vote, I'm not sure that they're going to resonate with that type of low energy. I know that Trump likes to say high energy.
That's right. And there's another thing about the independent voter too, and that's this question needs to be answered. Where's Hunter? I mean, news is breaking right now. As much as the forces of social media, the forces of Silicon Valley tried to stifle it, news is breaking about Joe Biden's really fairly well detailed connections to Chinese money and the influence peddling that went on when he was in the White House as vice president. So I can only encourage everybody to go out there to pay attention. I'd start by watching an excellent segment from Tucker Carlson yesterday. I woke up early so I could watch. I was on the plane when that was broadcast, so I couldn't see it. I woke up early this morning so I could watch it in its entirety. It's very, very illuminating.
And one of the things that's interesting about this story is that the mainstream media really refuses to even acknowledge it. But more importantly, they put more energy into investigating and criticizing the story than actually investigating the story itself. They spend more energy trying to debunk it. So, and of course, the Russia being behind all of this is factually proven to be wrong.
Correct. I mean, they investigated Russia for 3 years and found nothing. And they did it on the slimmest, I mean, basically no evidence at all, just the fabricated dossier being the basis for that, and that proved to be completely fabricated. On the flip side now, here we have incredible documentation. We have emails, we have voicemails, we have WhatsApp conversations, all
audio files as well.
Audio files as well, and not originating from the people, from the man who brought them forth, Tony Bobulinski, but addressed to him.
Let's step aside, and we have a speaker coming up, as traditionally that's what happens before these rallies. Let's take a listen in.
Oh my gosh, wow! Welcome, welcome, welcome to Bullhead City! It is amazing to look out at this sea of motivated, energized, amazing, intelligent Republican Trump supporters. Hey guys, good to see you. Good to see, oh my gosh, so many of my friends and my family here today. I can tell you, it is such an honor and a privilege to work for you and to work with you as the chairwoman of the Republican Party of Arizona. I'm going to thank my husband, Mike, my daughter, Katie, and my mom, Lorraine, who are over here, who have, just like your families, have sacrificed so much so that you can succeed. Without them, I could not do what I do. And without all of you, President Trump can't do what he does. We are the party of faith, family, and freedom. We are in the battle of our life right now. I know you hear it again and again and again, that every election is the most important election. Every election is the one that really makes a difference. But this truly is the battle between freedom and liberty with President Trump and Vice President Pence and Republicans all the way down the ballot, or a slide into socialism, radical, progressive leftism that we will be lucky if we could recover from. Exactly right. We can't have the Harris-Biden ticket. And we certainly can't have Mark's Kelly. And guess what? It's all in our hands, guys. It is in our hands. How many people have already voted? Yes. I love to see, let me see back here too. Okay, I love to see the sea of hands of people who have voted, because early voting is very, very important for us to get out our vote. We don't know what's going to happen on election day, okay? There could be technical difficulties. There could be long lines. There could be sick outs of people who don't want to come to work in Republican areas, so that it makes it more difficult for Republicans to vote. And don't forget, if you haven't heard, on November 2nd, there is an asteroid hurtling towards the Earth. Now, I understand that it's very small, but it is 2020, people. It's 2020. So get out there and get your vote in today, tomorrow, Friday. Get your votes in before Election Day. But if you have to vote on Election Day, then be willing to wait in those really long lines and cast your vote for President Donald J. Trump. Four more years. Four more years. 4 more years. Now you guys see why it's important to have cheerleaders, because it helps us get our cheers all together, right? I want to tell you, this is a historic rally. Since I've been the chairwoman, I've been trying to get the president to come to my Mojave County. I have lived here for 21 years. And he is finally here, and I am so excited to welcome our president to our land here in the desert. I want to know, how many people are from Bullhead? How about Kingman? All right, how about my hometown, Lake Havasu? I love it, I love it. Okay, and I'm not going to leave out, we're not going to leave out our neighbors. How about Laughlin? Yes. So, I know you all know what to do. We have got to get out. We've got to get out the vote. We've got to vote for President Trump, Vice President Pence, Martha McSally, Senator McSally. You're going to hear from our great Congressman Gosar in just a few minutes. We got to send him back to Congress, and we're working hard to expand the House so we can fire Nancy Pelosi. She's gotta go, folks. She's gotta go. So, without further ado, I thank you for all the support and love that you've given to me. I can't wait to hear you guys chant, "We love you," to our president, to President Trump, here in a bit. And as I said, this is a historic event, not just because President Trump is here in Mojave County, but because this is the first rally that has ever been held in 2 states, with 2 states at one time. Our neighbor, Nevada, the chairman of the Nevada Party, the longest serving chairman of the Republican Party of Nevada in history, is here. His name is Michael J. McDonald. And I welcome him to join me on the stage. Michael! Here you are. Michael! 4 more years. 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 Woohoo! Well, here he is. And I wanted to let you know, because apparently some chairmen don't like each other around the state, or around the country. I don't know why. Michael and I, we see eye to eye. We want to re-elect Donald J. Trump, just like you do, and I'm going to let you hear from Michael J. McDonald.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Stay up here, Kelly.
Okay.
All right, guys. So every time we do a rally in Nevada, we always film the crowd because it seems the media never shows how big the president is. So here we go. Show the president of the United States you love Arizona.
USA! 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 Awesome!
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly Ward, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here. This is another historic event, and I can't tell you what the lineup we have here is amazing. We wanted to send the message to the Democrats, especially my state, that's ran by a Democratic governor that wants to close us down, that is literally ruining Nevada, and always attacks our president. Well, let me tell you what, Governor Sisolak, you can't stop us. We'll go right across the river with our neighbors, and we'll hold one of the largest rallies ever seen in America. Ladies and gentlemen, for you. They're still coming in. I mean, you should see the line out there. You guys keep coming. Keep coming. This is more, as Kelly mentioned, this is more than a fight just for an election. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're fighting against is what the media has done to you. They will never show the corruption they put against with Joe Biden. They leave that alone. But they'll always point the finger at President Trump and his family. How ironic. Because 3 fingers are pointing back, Joe Biden, and your days are numbered. They call our president a racist. Last I checked, Joe Biden was the one that passed all the laws that put minorities in jail. Joe Biden's own running mate, Senator Harris, on stage, on national TV, called him a racist. And now she's running with him. Are you kidding me? But guys, this is about you. We've seen the attacks. The president is standing in the way of what they want to do to each and every one of you. They're coming after you. That's why you got to show out and make sure you vote. You grab 5 friends. You take them to the poll. You drag them to the poll. Whatever it takes, you make sure they get out and vote for Donald Trump. Because I guarantee you're going to love it on Election Day when you're walking in glory because you put the president back in the White House for 4 more years. This is about you guys. In all reality, you're going to hear from some great speakers, but at the end of the day, it's what do you want to leave your children? What do you want to fight for? What legacy do you want to have in this United States? Either we're going to be socialist or we're going to be a democracy. Guess what? I'll take Donald Trump every day to make sure he's fighting for us. We need you, so get out and vote. And when he comes, show him some love, Arizona. God bless you.
And now, please welcome the host of the Charlie Kirk Show, Charlie Kirk.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with all of you today. Hello? Can you hear me now? There we go. Can you hear me now? It is great to be here in Arizona, where we are going to re-elect our president in just a couple days here in the great state of Arizona. I'm originally from Illinois. We moved to Arizona for a reason, because this state is supposed to be a state that has its act together. Low taxes, freedom, liberty, and no matter how much money the National Democrats try to pour into this state, I am confident that the silent majority is going to rise up in record numbers this Tuesday and re-elect our incredible president. In my RNC speech, I called the president the bodyguard of Western civilization. He is fighting for the forgotten man and woman of our country. And when he got elected, he violated the one rule in Washington, D.C. He actually did what he said he was going to do. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem. He recognized Golan Heights. He canceled the Iran deal. He's building the wall on the southern border. Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, 300 circuit court judges and federal judges on all across the country. He lowered taxes. He destroyed ISIS. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi are dead. Manufacturing is coming back to our country. He is fighting and ending child sex trafficking in our country. And now this Tuesday, the question is, who's in charge? Is Google in charge, or are the people in charge? Is Peter Strzok in charge, or are the people in charge? We need to rise up in record numbers, tell our families, tell our friends, tell our loved ones, because this election is the most important election since 1860 for our generation, for future generations, where we are going to make our kids love America again, where we believe that church is essential, that church is more essential than abortion clinics in our country, that we believe that this country is the greatest country ever to exist in the history of the world. Our bodyguard, our defender, President Trump, is fighting for you every single day. He's had our back for 4 years. Now it's time for us to rise up and to show him that we have his back so he can get 4 more years. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Thank you.
And now, please welcome Nevada Trump co-chair Adam Laxalt.
Is this what they were using before? All right. I've been doing these for 4 years, but I've never been on this long of a catwalk here. Pretty incredible, huh? All right, everybody, are we ready? What are we here to do? Are we here to get the president reelected? I could tell you it's been one of the most amazing experiences over the last 4+ years, being able to introduce the president, being able to try to make it clear what he's done for this great country and how much he represents in the big war that we're in for the future of our country. Because there's no question this race isn't just about supporting President Trump. It's about saving America. Am I right? We have two clear choices. And as I like to say, when the left tells us it's going to do things, when it tells us it's going to transform America, we need to believe them. That is their plan. That is what they are doing, and that is what they are accomplishing all across this country. How about what's happened with law enforcement in 2020? As a former Attorney General, I can tell you I've just been shocked and appalled at what I've seen across this country. To see Democrat leaders, state and local leaders, support the rioters, support the violence, refuse to forcefully stand up for the rule of law and what makes us a peaceful and prosperous nation has just been sickening. And instead, they've encouraged this. They haven't taken the steps that the president has put out and successful Republican leaders have done in their state and localities. You simply shut it down. You allow peaceful protesting, and when it's violent, it is done. They've shown us how far they're willing to go in the space of law enforcement. No bail. They are catch and release. People that are actually burning things and creating major violence, they're being caught and put right back on the street. They've told us what they plan. Kamala Harris has told us what she plans on doing. We need to take them at their word. And we need to take them at their word when they say they're going to fundamentally transfer America. They mean it. They have said they will take away the Electoral College. And let me tell you, that's a real threat, a real threat. It would take away the voice of my state and Arizona, and it would transform our nation. When they say that they're going to add D.C. and Puerto Rico as states and get 4 more senators, they mean that. When they say they're going to pack the U.S. Supreme Court, they mean that. So it's all on the line. And let me just tell you, it's all about turnout now. You guys are watching all these numbers and all these polls. You get to clear it all out. If the rest of our Republicans in the state of Nevada get to the polls in the next few days on Election Day, Donald Trump will win Nevada. And if Republicans get to the polls in all of these important swing states across America, Donald Trump is going to get reelected President of the United States. Thank you, guys. Get out there, get your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, ask them if they voted. If they haven't voted, offer to take them, offer to help them. Now is the time to save our great country and both of our great states. Thank you. God bless.
And now welcome congressional candidate Dan Rodimer.
How's everybody out here doing? So I had the honor of going to church with the president about a week ago. It was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty cool. And I asked him, I said, Mr. President, when I speak at your rally next week, do you want me to do the standard issue political speech? Or do you want me to do the WWE political speech? So I got a question for everybody out here. Who here wants to take back the house? Come on now! Who here wants to take back the house? Who here wants to keep the Senate? I got one last question. Who here wants President Trump for 4 more years? So, President Trump, he gave me his numbers. He said, Dan, I'm tied in Nevada right now.
We are honored to be joined by the great Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, and of course, just moments ago, you took the stage to talk about how important it is to keep Arizona red and to keep the ground support that we've seen in this country and not only the state.
Yeah, that's right. Look, Arizona's a must-win. The path for the president is difficult if we don't win this state, but I feel increasingly good about it. I mean, look at this crowd. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you had tens of thousands of people here. What we are doing at Turning Point Action is trying to activate young people to try to help get this president reelected. And look, I think the president right now is in a very good position. He's doing more rallies, more events than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is panicking, and he's trying to really misrepresent this race in a variety of different ways. But I feel very good. And look, the president, his record of accomplishment is incredible. Ending the endless wars, getting us out of the Iran deal, building the southern border wall, best economy in American history, 300 federal judges, Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, ending child sex trafficking, most pro-life president in American history. And that's just the beginning of the list.
Absolutely.
And so I really feel that the energy's on our side. But everybody watching this right now, you need to make sure you vote. They're going to try shenanigans on voter day. There's less polling places than ever before in American history. You need to, if you feel secure voting early, do that. That's why I voted early in person in Florida. And we really want to make sure that every single person out there brings friends to the polls, and we send a clear message this Tuesday.
I heard you talk about this earlier, that in 2016, 30 million Christians did not vote in that election. That could be the difference whether or not Donald Trump wins or loses.
That's right, and people of faith really need to rise up and vote in record numbers. We have been told by the ruling class oligarchs that church is not essential. We have been told that abortion clinics are essential. BLM Incorporated is able to march through the streets. You're able to celebrate the Los Angeles Lakers winning the NBA Finals, but for whatever reason, you're not able to open your church. So people of faith need to rise up in record numbers to get our president reelected. He is the most pro-Israel, pro-life president in American history. He's a friend of the faith. He's an incredible person that really, really loves Christianity and loves Christians. And I think that, we as Christians have a moral obligation to rise up in big numbers to support our president.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the undecided voter right now, because there is a percentage of people out there right now that quite honestly don't know who to vote for. What's your advice to someone as far as the voting for a policy versus voting for a personality that they perhaps don't like?
Well, you need to get information and facts, and we kind of have a hotline we've almost created at our podcast. freedom@charliekirk.com is the email, where people can email us questions of what they have, what they're seeing, because people say, well, my friend says this, and this, and we have some ways that we can help them. But look, the undecideds are going to determine this election, and here's the most important thing that you can do if you're watching this, is that use your personal relationships, look people in the eyes, and tell them why you're supporting the president, tell them why they need to vote, and then take ownership to get them to the polls. Take ownership to get them to go vote. You need to say, I am going to make sure that this person is going to go vote and make sure that they know everything they need to before they go vote. That's a very important thing. So you get your friends to the polls, you get your loved ones to the polls, you bring your families to the polls. This thing's going to be won and lost, not just on these rallies, but what if every single person here did 10 people to the polls? So we're doing 6 speeches a day, we're doing 2 podcasts a day, 2 hours of radio, I'm crisscrossing the country, because I believe every person I can reach might help save the republic. This is the election, everybody. We have to do it, or else my generation's going to live in a country that is completely unrecognizable.
Well, Charlie, you mentioned earlier in your speech that Donald Trump is the gatekeeper against socialism and really the breakdown of the fabric of this country. And so if someone is like, I don't understand that, explain that to us, how he is the gatekeeper from socialism.
He is the bodyguard of Western civilization. He truly is. He is the protector of our entire civilization, of free speech, of dialogue, of First and Second Amendment rights, private property rights, of the family, of judges that do not try to read into the Constitution where words are not there or the meaning was not there. So this is the way of life that we have been that we have grown to appreciate here in America, is under attack from within. And he is the bodyguard. And when you hire a bodyguard, you don't really care about his tweets. You don't care about his tone. You want a fighter. You want someone that's going to win. You want someone that knows how to defend your loved ones and defend really what you care about. And this president, you know, people accuse him of all sorts of different things. All are nonsense. But the one thing that people do say about him that is true is that he's tough. He has perseverance. He knows how to fight. He knows how to win. And when you're in a melee or a struggle for the future of your country, you want Donald Trump in your corner.
Absolutely. We've seen a record 62 million early votes, either in person or mail-in, and a big percentage of that is Gen Z. Let's talk about the influence you guys are having with Turning Point USA at college campuses.
Well, you look at this crowd, it's amazing. I mean, there's a lot of young people here. They're coming up to me, high school and college kids, a lot of kids that we've talked to at Turning Point Action and other places. I feel increasingly good. You know, I don't know if we'll win the youth vote nationally, but I think we'll win it in a couple states. I think we'll win the youth vote in Ohio or in Michigan or in some of these other Midwestern states. I feel very good about young people rising up in record numbers to support this president. And you know, there's a lot of chatter about who's showing up, where are they showing up. You know, California and New York, not really going to be a bellwether for this entire election. I think that if you're out there and you're a young person, you're watching this, and you're like, I don't know who I want to vote for. Do you want to vote for a candidate that is going to believe in American exceptionalism, that is double and triple down on the success that we have seen, that is going to fight for our generation, for our American way of life, that is ending our endless wars? I mean, our generation knows nothing but perpetual, long, drawn-out conflict, and we need a president that fights courageously to end these wars so that our generation can be prosperous, that our generation can be one day again understanding and believing that this is the greatest country ever to exist in the history of the world.
Absolutely. You also mentioned earlier that Donald Trump is the most pro-life president we've ever had.
That's right. Yeah, he is the most pro-life president ever. He's the first president ever to speak at the March for Life. He has slashed...
Because many presidents turned that down. They said they were going to do it, and they never did.
Including Republican presidents.
Yep, absolutely.
And so if you believe that life begins in the womb, if you believe that every person is made in the image of God, Donald Trump is your candidate. If you believe that there's something wrong with 1 million abortions that happen in our country every single year, Donald Trump is your candidate. If you think there's something wrong with post-birth abortions, then Donald Trump is your candidate.
Real quickly before I let you go, there's so much information out there on Hunter Biden and then Joe, the laptop and all that stuff. And of course, the mainstream media refuses to even address this topic. We've been saying from day one when this story broke to go search out the facts, go to alternative news sites and get the information, because you're not going to hear it from the mainstream media.
You're exactly right. I am so disappointed and disgusted with how the media is ignoring Tony Bobulinski and this Hunter Biden scandal. We did a whole podcast on this. I encourage everyone to check it out. Charlie Kirk Show, if you guys are interested. We did an hour-and-a-half deep dive. The documents, the depth, what these people have done to our country, it is worse than the Clinton crime family. It is worse than anything we have seen. Joe Biden is an immoral, lying, pathological, self-interest power grabber. And what he has done to sell out our middle class and to use the American foreign policy decisions to enrich his family is evil. I encourage everyone to check out the work we've done and also the work you guys are doing. But we must keep the drumbeat going on how Joe Biden and his family got rich while your kids went to war. That's the real thing. He sent our kids to war with some side deal that he was doing, whether it be with China, Kazakhstan, his brother in Iraq, Burisma, Eastern Europe. Joe Biden has looked at the world as his ATM machine, and what was he selling? He was putting in the debit card of America.
Absolutely.
That's what he was selling.
Absolutely. And of course, we encourage everyone to go out. And of course, Tucker Carlson had a great, phenomenal story.
No, everyone should go check out what Tucker did last night. Tucker's a friend. He's phenomenal. And we went really deep into it. We went and looked at the actual documents. We went through all the emails that were publicly available, the WhatsApp messages. And I can tell you, when you do the research that we have done on our podcast, I encourage you guys all to check it out, Charlie Kirk Show. When you dive into it, you'll say, oh my goodness, these people flagrantly and deliberately sold out the core, as he called the soul of our country. And Tony Bobulinski told that in bright colors last night. He said that the Bidens knew what they were doing. They wanted to do business with China, not just business. They were selling access, favors, and introductions. We have a word for that. It's a heavy word.
Yes.
But you guys, it starts with a T. And it ends with reason.
Absolutely.
But I'll let you guys figure it out.
Absolutely. And of course, I think the president on the last debate listened to every one of your 8 or 9 tips you had for him. That was a great podcast, by the way, because he did just that. He let Biden go down the road because he knew that he couldn't finish his sentence, for 2 minutes.
Well, we had a great conversation, and the president and I have a good relationship, and I did that. I put that publicly, and I think that I'm not taking credit for anything. That's not what I'm saying, but
it was just great advice.
Thank you, and I think he won the debate convincingly.
Yeah,
and now it's our election to win. I want to say one last thing, which is if you're watching this and you're like, what can I do? You go find someone right now and you get them to vote. You go vote right now. Vote early, vote securely, because they're going to have all sorts of games on election day. Get your vote out of the way and say, I need to go find 10 other people. This has to be a grassroots wave, everybody. They're spending money. The billionaires are against us. Wall Street banks, the corporate titans. It's our country. Rise up. Let's take it back.
And absolutely, let's all pray. We all need our prayer for this country. Charlie Kirk, the great Charlie Kirk, joining us, Turning Point USA. Thank you so much for all you do for Proud America.
Thank you.
God bless.
I love your show.
Thank you. And I love the Falkirk Center, being an ambassador for you guys.
I watch all of the rallies on RSPN, so
it's awesome.
I love it. God bless.
And by the way, we were the only ones taking your broadcast live.
I am not surprised, so thank you.
There you go. All right, thank you so much. Charlie Kirk joining us right here on the show. All right, Brick Suit Man coming back in there. All right, he's going to be standing by currently. He's going to be talking to Charlie Kirk, and of course, that's just the content we bring to you, and we need your viewer support. It's all viewer donations. Right side, rbnnetwork.com/donate. Go to our website, donate what you can. It's all about helping us out because, as we said, we have been going across this country nonstop. I was in Lansing, Michigan last night, and now standing here in a very warm Bullhead City, Arizona. And it seems like we're still the anticipation of the crowd. Now they're throwing out some Make America Great Again hats to the crowd, as you're seeing there. But the energy is high, and as Charlie Kirk said earlier, there's all walks of life here. So the mainstream media may not always tell you the size of these crowds and who's at these crowds. But as Charlie Kirk says, the love for this president is across the board absolutely huge, and we certainly appreciate all the love and support that they give us here at Right Side Broadcasting, as we've all the time here. We love you. Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for watching us. And of course, this would not be possible without them, but also our great sponsors as well.
That's right. And today, our partner is Disney Coin Company. They make great collectible coins, and Disney coins they're the epitome of made in America because they're made in the USA, and even the machines that they make them on, the machines are made in America, and they're made by people who deeply love our country. The coins are made with genuine silver and copper. They're valuable, and they're a unique and worthwhile purchase, which always means they make the perfect presents. So they also come in over 20 patriotic designs, and Disney Coin Company introduces 2 new coins each month. So we at RSPN are collecting these coins, and you at home can collect them along with us each and every month leading up to the election, which is really one more week. And they also make great gifts for any MAGA fan in your life. Disney Coins is also giving 10% of the profits back to conservative causes and organizations. So they are benefits meaningful to you in that as well once you make your purchase. So you can go to Disney Coins. That's www.dismecoins.com. dismecoins.com to check out the inventory and start your very own collection of Trump coins today. And you can use the code RSBN at checkout for a discount. Now, while you're there, don't forget to join the huge election giveaway. And basically, you do that by signing up for a free newsletter. And Disney Coins, the more people that sign up for that newsletter, the more coins that they're going to give away for free. So that's www.dismecoins.com, www.dismecoins.com.
And let's be honest, if you have a MAGA fan in your house, this makes the perfect stocking stuffer this year.
They're fantastic. I mean, they got a great weight to them. They're absolutely incredible. My personal favorite, they've got a great wall design where the president is peeking over the head and you can see his hair, and it's just, that is one of my favorites. I don't have it with me, but I got one of the size. I mean, these things are great. I mean, they are fabulous little stocking stuffers, great conversation starters too. You just like, hey, check out this coin that I got, and that helps you get a conversation started about whatever issue it is you've got on that coin.
And imagine, 20 years from now, you've got these coins from what's going to turn out to be the most prolific American president of our lifetime, and you've got these coins from Disney Coins. I think it's great. And as soon as I got on with Right Side Broadcasting and the sponsor became aware of the sponsor, I said, how cool is this? I mean, these coins are amazing. And like you said, they're made by machines that are made in America.
Yeah, even the machines are made here. I mean, it's incredible. This is not like produced overseas and imported. These are not made with presses that are not made. I mean, the tooling is made in America.
Yeah.
Made by Americans with machines made in America, made in America. It doesn't get any more made in America than that.
And the proud people that make those coins as well love this country as much as you. We've watched some of the earlier speakers. What's your takeaway so far? I know that the anticipation always builds up to the president, but what's your thoughts so far?
I think it's great. I mean, the people are still filing in, but those were some really powerful messages. I especially enjoyed Charlie Kirk's. Charlie Kirk's message is powerful. He kept it on stage. He kept it very short.
Which we both agree sometimes shorter is better, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely more effective. Because if you boil it down, it really is about taking responsibility, getting your vote out there, and then making sure other people vote. And as he says, Trump is the one protecting America from the leftists. He is the sole one who started. If Trump is not elected, let's not pretend that it's going to be Joe Biden in charge. Joe Biden, the nice guy. I see this about a movement among disaffected younger voters who perhaps supported Bernie Sanders. There's a movement called Settle for Bernie. Well, settling for Bernie is basically killing America. Killing your country. Settling for Bernie, settling for Joe, settling for Biden. I might have said settle for Bernie, but settling for Biden is the message they're saying. And we don't want to do that, because settling for Biden is going to be really bringing about the demise of America. He's just a shell. We know he's a puppet. We know he doesn't have any real policies of his own. He's being done exactly what the leftist, communist, socialist network of his, the Democrat Socialist Network tell him to do.
And actually, just as Charlie Kirk laid out, he is the traditional 47-year career politician that's actually going to tell you what you want to say. He's going to come out 6 months before an election. He's going to pander to all of the ethnic groups, Latinos, blacks, everyone, and he's going to pander to them. And then go back, and they're going to resort back to their very horrible policies. That if you look at any of these major cities around the country right now that are in charge, democratically in charge by liberals and leftists, they're horrible. Things are happening in those cities that they cannot reverse without a drastic change in leadership.
Correct. And I mean, talking about things Joe Biden hasn't done, he hasn't given us a list of who he would name to the Supreme Court. President Trump did that when he was running in 2016. He hasn't told us details of any of his policies other than, I've got a plan and I'll take care of it. And
rhetoric.
Yeah, I mean, let's use a word from him. It's a bunch of malarkey. Joe doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, let's talk about fracking in Pennsylvania, coming from the Rust Belt, and talking about how Joe wants to basically destroy the energy producing states in our country. Fracking is what has enabled the United States to become energy independent. And becoming energy independent is what has allowed us to no longer have to defend overseas oil interests. And that is so important because we no longer have to sacrifice our nation's wealth and our nation's lives, the capital, our human capital, our economic capital, on these needless, pointless, and endless foreign wars. President Trump is a president of peace. He's the only president in the last 39 years who did not start a war or join a conflict, join an international conflict in his first term. And that's significant, and we can't pretend that it's not. People say, President Trump, we know he's done a lot for veterans in terms of veterans' choice. But one of the greatest things he's done for veterans, especially wounded veterans, is not creating any more of them. He has kept us at peace. And even when members of his own administration wanted to go into conflicts for things, I mean, he's kept us out of it.
Let's talk about the latest civil unrest that we're seeing across the country. Obviously, New York City, Philadelphia just experienced some as well. Do you anticipate, we can only pray that the civil unrest does not lead into the election, but I thought this 6 months ago, that this is in the playbook right now to just cause a disruption in the voting process to scare people from going to vote.
I think what we're seeing right now is not planned. I think what we're seeing is basically they know they can get away with it. They basically, I mean, the incident that happened in Philadelphia, let's admit that it's tragic, but in a nation of over 330 million people, unfortunately, there will be tragic incidents that occur. But they can't all, not every single one of them should be sparking the type of dissent and it's rioting. It's not like, oh, that's bad. Let's all go get TVs and destroy businesses and loot our neighbors, hard work and destroy the fabric of our city. And this is again happening in a democratic state with a democratic governor in a city with a democratic mayor. And on the second night, the National Guard could have been called in, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Well, let's talk about, you reside in Southern California. Traditionally, you've seen a lot of, Gavin Newsom obviously has shut that state down quite a bit, just like the state of Nevada is as well. What are you seeing, at least organically organized rallies, whether it's a boat or bikers or cars? What do you see?
Well, California has long been controlled by the Democratic Party. And it's a shame because it used to be such a strong conservative bastion. But what I'm seeing now, when I started wearing my hat out in public, when I started going out and being a visible supporter of our president, people come up to you and you get like the stealth hello. You get like that's a great shirt. I love that hat.
Can we share the story? Because you shared it with me last night, how you first put on this brick suit that everyone knows you for. And we can get into it because a lot of people obviously walked out here and you've got, 5,000 people. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows you as Brick Suit. You've been called on the stage with the president and a couple times, actually.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Brick Suit and the story. What was your idea behind it and what kick-started that?
All right, well, I'll try and keep it short, but basically what happened is in the spring of 2019, or January, February, a lot of people were being deplatformed by Silicon Valley. People were taken off Facebook, YouTube streams were being demonetized, and Twitter accounts were being completely suspended. And I decided at that point that if you can't make memes on the internet, which what I was doing at that time at a site on Reddit, which is now migrated to the fantastic site of thedonald.win, if I couldn't do that on the internet, I was going to do it in real life. So I started wearing my hat out. And I bought into the fact that bad things might happen to me.
Well, let me get your thought.
The very first time I wore it,
yes,
somebody bought my dinner. And that's when I realized there's something going on. People are looking for a rallying point. People are looking for something like that. And I had a vacation where I was planned to go back east already. And I just decided if I'm going to go to D.C., because I was flying into Dulles, wearing the hat wasn't going to be enough. I ordered the suit, and my only intention was to wear it into Dulles. And the day before I left San Diego, President Trump announced a rally in Montoursville, Pennsylvania. I was able to make it because I was close by and it fit with my schedule back there. And that's the rally I called up on stage at.
That's amazing. And of course, when you first put that suit on, what type of reaction did you get from either Trump supporters or anti-Trump supporters, or maybe people who, quite honestly, have no idea what this represents?
The first time I wore it was in the San Diego International Airport, getting on my plane to fly to D.C. And I can tell you that The flight crews really liked it. The flight crews really liked it, and the gate crew really liked it.
The gate crew.
Yeah, but I can tell you also, there were some people sitting in the near the gate, passengers waiting to get on the plane, who kind of tilting their phone sideways, like, I'm going to get a shot of this guy and really, embarrass him
Trying to
somehow.
troll him somehow.
Exactly. So there are people who don't like it, and that's okay, because in real life, the only term of service that apply, unlike Twitter or YouTube, is the Constitution, your First Amendment rights to express yourself.
Well, I told you this earlier before we came on this broadcast, and folks, if you're just now joining us, welcome. We are live from Bullhead City, Arizona, getting ready for the Trump rally here. We were talking earlier about purpose in life, and I used to work for another media group. That career kind of ended, and then I was so graciously picked up by Right Side Broadcasting to do this. This is my calling. I have two missions in life: further the kingdom of God and promote patriotism in this country, and right now to get Donald J. Trump elected. I told you, and I really mean this, you've been chosen by God to do this. There's a lot of people thank you for your service. They know that it's a sacrifice to go outwardly show your emotions and your commitment to this president by your suit, by your hats, by your vocal, you're outspoken on social media. People appreciate what you do. This is where you are in life, Brick Suit Man. Just know that. This is what you're chosen to do. And you are making a difference right now. There's people watching you that are connecting with you, and they're like, I love that guy. That's what I want. He is saying what I want to say. Maybe you have a job right now and you can't outwardly show your support for the president. Well, Brick Suit Man's doing it for you, right? And we're doing it for you right here at Right Side Broadcasting. You saw all the crowd out there. There's thousands of people here, right? So I just want to say thank you. And I'm telling you, I pray for you. I pray for favor over you. I think you're seriously doing this country so much justice right now in a world that is turned against what is right, and they've gone to what's wrong.
I'm really trying to keep it together here. It's difficult. The support that I've had from the public has been very humbling, and it's taught me a lot about things I didn't even know I was looking for answers about, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. Well, we are all grateful for you, and I really mean that. It's an honor to when I got the notice that I was going to stand here with you on this stage, I said, I'm with Brick Suit Man. You have got, this is the greatest day. So I'm honored. I think this is great, and I really love and support everything that you're about. And of course, you've got all these great hats that you wear, and you switch them out on a regular basis, and I love that as well. You were definitely a showmanship in this whole political arena, and that's what we needed, though. Think about this for a second, folks. If anybody doesn't really follow politics, let's say there's someone out there that's not following politics very closely, but they identify with you. They're going, wait a minute, that guy's kind of cool. He wears a brick suit. He's got this outward demeanor. You got these, you got a great vibe going on. It's things like this that swing the independent voter over to the conservative side. That's what it takes.
Yeah, and to take the focus off me, which I'm perfectly comfortable. I mean, I would love to do. What I want people to realize is, I had a choice after I got called up on stage, and that was I could go back to just putting funny pictures on the internet, or I could do something else and wear my suit and become, a vocal proponent for the president. And that's what I decided to do. I saved my vacation time. That's why I'm able to do this. That's why I was able to take a road trip in September. And I'm supporting the president as best I can. And that's what I would encourage everyone else to do. That's what, tell people why you support the president and why you love him.
Absolutely. And behind us, you're getting a good shot of everybody waving to Right Side Broadcasting, because it's because of people like that allow this to happen, showing their patriotism, showing their loyalty, appreciating, and they're praying for us. I know I've had people come up to me and say, we are praying for Right Side Broadcasting. We know that you're doing God's work here of trying to re-elect this president, and it's people like that are making all of this happen, and we love all of these people out here, and we certainly appreciate their dedication. Have you ever seen so much support for a network? And I was ironically on the flip side of all of this, and I didn't see it at all, but now I do.
No, and it's absolutely incredible. I mean, the amount of people that recognize exactly what it is we're doing is phenomenal. It's astounding. I mean, because when President Trump points to the media riser and calls us fake news, we know he's not talking about us. But also importantly, the people in the crowd know that he's not talking about us. We're just up here bringing you the rallies like we're doing right now, showing you the entire thing live, panning the crowd, showing you just the vast amount of people that are here and giving you the entire picture so that you can help others see that picture as well.
Well, let's talk about donations. Right now, if you want to donate to Right Side Broadcasting, let's talk about the website. Let's talk about ways you can do that because it's very important. I mean, once he gets that prepared, if you want to follow us on social media, I am Brian Glenn TV, BrianGlenn TV. It's across the board, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the whole bit. Brian Glenn TV, and of course, Brick Suit, which is, I'm really surprised this Instagram handle or the Twitter handle wasn't taken up so far.
Yeah, so my Twitter handle is Brick_suit, so that's Brick and the low dash and then suit. And on Instagram, just straight Brick Suit.
Just straight Brick Suit. So go follow us on social media, Brian Glenn TV and Brick Suit. Now let's get into the most important aspect of all of this, and that's viewer donations by you. I mean, because of you, we're allowed to stand here and show you this great coverage. So let's go into the website and all the great ways they can donate.
Right. So the easiest way that you can get the most money to us is by making a donation at rsbnetwork.com/donate. When you make that donation there, the bulk of it gets to us. There's a small processing fee, but it's almost insignificant. You can also, if you're on YouTube right now, you can make a donation in the Super Chat, which will allow your message to be seen by more people online because it will float up to the top and stay there for a while. And I think they take 30% of that, but it's still very important. It really helps us a lot. Every time we go to these rallies, it costs about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, depending.
We've got several teams around the country, so it can add up.
2 teams today. We had 3 teams yesterday. We had 3 the day before, and that does add up. And it's because of your support that we're able to do that. Also, like the stream if you're watching it. Share it with people.
Obviously, comment if you have a friend that perhaps has not been a part of that. Then invite them over, share them, tag them on the broadcast. So let's talk about Disney Coins real quick. And we've got one right here. It's because this great company, Disney Coins, that we're allowed to do this. And right now, if you go to the website and order a coin, you're not only helping us, but you're fighting for freedom, to be quite completely honest with you. Nothing says more than made in the USA than these Disney Coins are made in the USA by machines that are nothing, made in the USA, made by people that nothing, love this great country.
Right. And those coins, they're a fabulous collector's item. They're a great souvenir of this wonderful president's campaign for re-election and his first 4 years in office. There's something that, a physical memento that you can use, that you can give to your friends or give to the MAGA fan in your life.
Great heavy weight there, it's just copper and silver. You can get the choices as well. But here's the deal. Can you imagine waking up on Christmas morning and you're checking that stocking, you go down there and you pull it out a Disney coin? You want to talk about making the Christmas extra special. And of course, hopefully, and we pray that this comes off a November 3rd victory so it's even more celebrated.
Absolutely. And that's going to happen because of our love of country. President Trump in a 60 Minutes interview with Leslie Stahl that aired this weekend, because we got to see the full interview. I don't know if this was in the final 60 Minutes cut, but he was asked about his supporters, what defines his supporters, and he took a moment and he said, it's simple, they love America. That's the common factor. Unlike the Democrat Party and its identity politics, where they say, you're this gender, you're this sexual orientation, you're this faith, therefore your vote belongs to us. The identity politics of the Democrat Party. The thing that we have in common in support of President Trump is that we love America. And I want to stress too, this doesn't mean that there are Democrats out there, or libertarians, or people who are not affiliated with the party who don't love America. Right. Absolutely there are.
Don't you think the Democratic Party in a way have been hijacked by leftists? I mean, when you think about this for a second, JFK, by the standards of today, would not even be defined as a Democrat.
You're 100% correct. And that's why, I really like to make an appeal to those people who are casting historically. If you're a Libertarian Party member and you've been voting for Libertarian, or you've been voting for the Green Party, realize that if President Trump isn't elected, the country is going to change so much that the country you love is going to be gone. And if you're not affiliated with the party, it's important to keep President Trump in office, because the leftists who are now in charge of the Democratic Party are going to steer us visibly to the left. Not a slight change in direction, a complete change in direction. Opening the borders, free benefits for everyone who can get into our country, restricting the Second Amendment,
defunding the police.
Look at the heavy hand that Democrat governors in states across America have already put their own citizens of their own states through. The lockdowns that they've done, the restriction of liberties, the restrictions of just fundamental freedoms to gather, to worship across the river in Nevada. You can have the casino open, but you can only have 50 people at a church. And it's that type of restriction that they're not going to lay back on. They're not going to give that back. They're going to have even more restrictions.
When you look at Nevada, the southern part of Nevada traditionally is blue, a lot of the counties around. But when you go up north, we were in Carson City, the Reno area, it is red. It's a red county. But I think slowly down here in the southern part of Nevada, things are changing. And he did an announcement earlier by a show of applause who was from Bullhead City, who was from Laughlin, Nevada. And I think the influence of conservatism is definitely bleeding into the state of Nevada down here in the state, because let's face it, if you've been closed down for months and your small business has gone out of business, or you can't gather as a church, that really hurts you financially and emotionally, and people want change.
You're 100% correct. And we've got to get the country back open. President Trump is the best one to lead us back. When he took over, and one of the first things he did was unleash the economy. He got rid of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have crushed American automobile industry. He canceled the Paris Climate Accord, and then he started deregulating, started cutting all the regulations that were shackling American business. And the result was fabulous economic growth, record low unemployment across all demographics, male, female, each ethnicity, just incredible performance. He is the right president to lead us back in the Super V recovery that has already started. The stage is set. Next year will be the greatest economic recovery we've had in modern times. And I can't wait for that report to come out in November about GDP increase.
Will you take a look at this crowd that we're showing you right now? It is absolutely amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, Brick Suit, they just threw this thing together days ago. Now, granted, they had their eye on doing one here, but if you look at the amount of people that has shown up today on really short notice.
3 days notice.
It is a work day, people. I like to ask a question right now. Like, who is calling in sick from work? No one's at work. This is the day you call in. You're sick today. You're going, hey, if you got a case of diarrhea right now, you call your boss and say, I'm going to a Trump rally. But you're really calling, I'm just saying, hey, that's what I did back in the day. I would always call it a sick day. But when you take a look at this crowd, it's amazing.
It's huge. The crowds that the president is drawing across the country are just so symbolic of the support that people are giving him. He is the embodiment of love for country right now.
I agree.
In a way that previously, people have always loved our soldiers. People have always loved our armed forces and thanked them for their service. It was always okay to be patriotic to them. But now it's okay to love your country openly in a way that wasn't okay like 8 years ago.
Well, you just took the words out of my mouth. 8 years ago, I said it would be considered almost racist to shove American flag. I thought it would be a symbol of hate, and that's exactly where we're almost at today. And that's why I have a flag in front of my house. I'm sure you have a flag in front of your house. If you're just now joining us, we are live in Bullhead City, Arizona, awaiting President Trump to take the stage here. And of course, we got a nice shot of the runway. I would imagine this would be an epic shot of Air Force One coming in here, and as the president lands on such an epic background. Of course, you got the casinos behind you. That's Laughlin, Nevada behind there. We're on across the the river, the Colorado River here in Bullhead City. And I want to mention here that we've had a little bit of technical difficulties. We normally during this broadcast, we will go into the Super Chats and we'll call out names for people that donate. And by all means, we appreciate all of that. But because we don't have the ability right now to get into those Super Chats and call out those names, we simply cannot do that. So please, we're not ignoring you by any means. We are not ignoring you. We're just technically, we can't do that. So please, we're sorry. We wish we could do it, but we're doing the best we can. And actually, we're still, by the grace of God, we're still actually broadcasting right now. Thank you so much for wherever you're watching us. Tag a friend, comment where you're watching us. I think when I was in Lansing, Michigan last night, we had Australia, France, Italy, Germany, the UK was in the house, Canada was in the house, South America was in the house, New Zealand, and I am just amazed at the following that we have right here at Right Side Broadcasting from people that live out of the country, and there's a swell of support for this president because let's be very honest here. What happens here in the U.S. affects the rest of the world.
Absolutely, and that's why we've seen Trump caravans in Israel. We've seen support from so many corners of the world because they know that America it's the last hope of freedom on our globe. There is no other country besides ours that freedom can fall back to. Freedom has been destroyed in many countries, and when you think of other Western democracies right now, they could be struggling a little bit, but none of them have the freedom that we have here in America. Because here in America, our freedoms are not granted to us by the government. They're ours.
They're ours.
They're ours.
Well, there's a lot of God-given rights that we have. And you know what? The thing about that, and Charlie Kirk has touched upon that quite often, he's got the Falkirk Center. I happen to be an ambassador for the Falkirk Center. So, you know what? There's God-given rights that we have in this country. And we talked about this last night. God is love, right? And if we are told to love one another, and I don't think if you're lacking some type of spiritual guidance in this world, there's a good chance you might be lost and you don't have love for one another. You want to lash out and be violent towards one another, and there's hate towards one another. That's where racism gets its roots, is through hate for another person, for whatever the case. It could be the skin color, it could be sexuality, it could be a nationality. So I just encourage everyone to pray for this election. Pray for November 3rd, because it's very important for our freedom, our democracy as a state, our liberties at stake. We really haven't talked about the Second Amendment and what's at stake. We heard Ted Nugent yesterday, the Motor City Madman there in Lansing, talk about the Second Amendment right, and how if the left wins this election, you quite honestly could be in the transition of handing over your guns, which I know people say will never do that, but it could happen.
That's correct. And curtailing Second Amendment rights is a problem nationally, but it's also in Arizona here where we're standing. It's a particularly strong issue because Mark Kelly running for Senate is probably, it's safe to characterize him as anti-gun. He has some personal experience, a tragedy that really everyone is sorry that befell him. It's understandable to me it's understandable that he might have that viewpoint, but I don't agree that his viewpoint on guns is consistent with the Second Amendment. On the other hand, Martha McSally, running for re-election after being appointed by Governor Doug Ducey for the last 2 years, she completely supports the Second Amendment, a strong Second Amendment proponent, and I believe that that's totally in line with what Arizona wants from its senator and what the bulk of people who support President Trump want nationally as well.
Absolutely. Let's turn our attention over to fracking. And of course, Joe Biden and both Kamala Harris have said they're going to stop fracking. They're against oil. They essentially want to move to a cleaner energy source, which, hey, I'm all for a Tesla and an electric car. I love them. Hey, I've driven the Jaguar I-Pace. I think it's one of the greatest electric cars out there. But here's the deal, folks. It is unrealistic to think that we're going to get rid of oil, switch to these alternative methods, and not lose thousands of jobs. It's unrealistic. And so now they flip-flopped on that, saying that they're not going to do that. And what else are they going to flip-flop on?
Well, they're just doing it there. That's a flip-flop of political expediency. It's one thing for a politician to have an opinion and to change their opinion later. I mean, if a politician has an opinion, it doesn't have to be rooted in stone forever. But when Joe Biden said during the debates and during his campaign that he was going to ban fracking, and now he's gone back on it. That is not because he had a soul-searching moment and decided that it was better to have fracking. That's because he believes that changing his mind is the tool that he will use to get more votes in an attempt to get elected. And then once he's elected, it really doesn't matter. He's going to do whatever he wants. So on fracking, the flip is disingenuous. He doesn't, and he's not really calling the shot there. I mean, Biden is shot. We know that. And he's just doing the bidding of the left wing of his party.
I would imagine on today's speech, Trump will talk about how both Biden and Harris have talked about raising your taxes, and Trump jokes about the fact that says, "Who the hell comes out and says I'm going to raise your taxes?"
Yeah, and that's a great one too.
And that's a quote, by the way.
I know that's great. That's great doublespeak from Biden, because Biden will say, "I'm not going to raise your taxes," but he also says, "I'm going to repeal President Trump's tax cuts." Well, repealing President Trump's tax cuts, that sounds like raising taxes to me, because that's going to cost every family about $6,000. So it's another lie from the Biden camp. It sounds great on paper, but it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work.
Okay, and also immigration obviously was a hot topic back in 2016. Hence, that's how you got your suit. But it seems
actually, if I can interject for just a moment. The reason that I support strong border walls on our southern border, strong barriers with Mexico, the primary reasons are not for immigration. It's to stem the human trafficking that crosses in this area, and also to reduce the influx of deadly narcotics into our country, because that is not a problem that stops at the border. Once it's in America, it permeates all the other states. And that is why I support strong border walls. It's not so much for immigration, because immigration is a really complex problem. We need some reforms on our visa laws. We did some things where now people can be returned to the state that they transited from, to Mexico. So border wall, not just for immigration.
Yeah. And of course, one of the topics as well in all of this is kind of our freedom. That the underlying tone is how much of your freedom will be taken away on November 3rd. And we've seen historic early voter turnout, 62 million as of the other day. I'm sure it's a little higher now. And so I put out a tweet earlier, Brian Glenn TV, you can go check it out, of the talk about voter suppression. How do you have voter suppression when you've got record voter turnout? I'm just not making the connection there. But that seems to be a narrative that is consistently pushed down on the left.
Correct. And by voter suppression, what we mean when President Trump talks about suppression polls, he's talking about polls that shows President Trump behind Joe Biden, that don't really necessarily square with what you can see with your eyes and what you can feel with your heart. They're used as a tool to make you less motivated to go cast your vote. And you need to fight that tendency. You need to take that and use it as fuel to make sure that you vote, to make sure that you cast your vote. And if you can cast it early and in person and in your state, you have a way to track that vote, that's a fantastic way to do it. And also, I don't know off the top of my head what they are, but I know that there are 6 states in America where you can still change your vote.
Isn't that amazing?
If you voted early. And 4 of them, I believe Pennsylvania is one, I believe Michigan is another, and I think Wisconsin as well. So if you voted, and some recent revelations perhaps about Vice President Biden's conduct in his business dealings with China has changed your mind, you can still change your vote. But once you get your vote in the bank, so to speak, then it's time to, as Charlie Kirk said, take personal responsibility to get others to vote.
Absolutely.
Tell them what you love about our president. Tell them what policy he enacted that was so important to you that it won you over. For me, it was just the whole general concept of America first, of finally not putting the needs of other countries ahead of the United States. The purpose of our government should be to take care of our citizens, to take care of our country. Help the world, yes, but not at the expense of ourselves.
Absolutely. Reset here. We are live in Bullhead City, Arizona, awaiting Donald Trump to arrive here for yet another energetic rally. I am Brian Glenn. This is Brick Suit. You can follow us at Brian Glenn TV, and of course, Brick Suit _
Brick _suit on Twitter.
There you go. Okay, let's talk about also the polls. And I know we talked a little bit about how, let's go back to 2016 real quick. As we're going into the election day 2016, it was overwhelmingly supporting Hillary Clinton. That night, as those results came rolling in, we'd see states that we thought were going to go to Hillary Clinton would go to Trump.
Correct.
What do you anticipate happening now as we are seeing more states that he barely even won? Now he has a larger lead in, and then some states that he didn't win in 2016, he now has flipped to Trump.
I think the polls are going to be wrong, and the only question is by what degree. I think part of it, unfortunately, is people, if they're polled, they don't necessarily want to admit that they support the president. The secret Trump voter.
And don't you think in a way that's the case? Because if I'm walking out of a polling booth and someone asks me who I voted for, A, I don't really know who you are, and knowing that what's happened the last 4 years with people, Trump supporters being targeted by all kinds of various groups, I'm not quite, honestly, I'm telling you the truth who I voted for. I may just say I voted for Biden.
And there's another huge block that doesn't get polled. Now, this is maybe something that people don't realize about me. You might not think it's true because I'm such an ardent supporter of our president now. But the last presidential election that I voted in was in 1984, and I voted for Ronald Reagan. And from that point, I was so disenchanted with the way there was no real difference between the political parties that I didn't vote in any federal or state or local election until the midterms last year in 2018. And I'm sad that I'll only get to vote for President Trump once this year. Well, maybe there'll be a third term. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
There's some funny videos out about that as well.
But there are other people like me who are coming out of the woodwork to vote for President Trump in this election who are not polled because previously they were not in the electorate. They were not registered. They were not active voters, and they are coming out this year. And they are not individuals who will be called. They are not individuals to be polled. And I believe that the professional pollsters are missing that block. There's intentional misrepresentation. Again, people are basically don't want to admit to someone calling a phone that they support the president.
Absolutely. I'm not quite honestly, if I would answer the phone and say that. I do have a Trump sign and an American flag in my front yard proudly. I don't have any fear that anything's going to happen as far as vandalism. And you know what? That's just the way it is now, because now we're in 2020, and back in 2016, that might have been a little bit more of a challenge, and people might be reluctant to show their support for the president. But obviously, as you see the crowd here today, I would probably say almost every single person has some type of Trump shirt, some type of Trump hat. Like, these people want you to know that they love this president, and they're going to show it without any reservations of being criticized at all. Once again, if you're just now joining us, welcome. You've got a shot of the crowd here. We are in Bullhead City, Arizona. Back behind the runway there is Laughlin, Nevada, a casino area. All the casinos you see lined up over there, beautiful casinos. We are staying at one as well. And so no gambling for me. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to. I'm just not a gambling guy, so I'm not going to go there. But let's talk about Disney coins, because right now there's never been a better time. The holiday shopping might be kicking off right now early, and one way is to get these great Disney coins.
Correct. And here's the one I like. It's got President Trump on the wall.
I like that.
Yeah, and these are the Disney coins. They are made in America by Americans. With the machines, they're even made in America. So they're about as American as you can get. The coins are made with genuine silver and copper, and they're valuable and unique and really an interesting gift. They're a great conversation starter for people who want to give something to someone who supports MAGA in their family. That's kind of unique.
Yes, it is.
So they come in over 20 patriotic designs. New ones are being added each month. And we at RSBN are collecting these, and you can collect them along with us as the new designs are introduced. And Disney Coins also gives 10% back of the profits to other.
Great?
It is,
to
absolutely.
conservative causes that we both agree upon.
Right. So your purchase is going to help other causes as well that the conservative movement supports. So you can go to DismeyCoins.com. That's DismeyCoins. Disney Coins. And you can check out the entire inventory, start your very own collection of Trump coins. And if you use the code RSBN at checkout, you will even get a discount on them. And while you're there, there is also a place you can sign up for a newsletter, no purchase necessary. And the more people who sign up for that newsletter, the greater amount of free coins that Disney Coins will be giving out. I know that if we get 5,000 people who sign up for that newsletter by the election day, Disney Coins is going to give out 1,500 coins to people in groups of 30. I think they're giving 50 people 30 coins each is what they're going to give away.
And it just makes a great gift. So this holiday season, if you're unsure what to get someone in your house that is a fan of President Trump, then these coins absolutely are a no-brainer. If you notice in that shot, I was looking out towards the runway because it seems like a lot of attention right now as we get closer, and I have no idea what time it is right now because my phone is inactive, but we are, are we getting close? You think it's 11:53, so obviously the president due to speak here at 12 o'clock, so if you see us glancing that way, it's because we're looking for Air Force One to come in here, and I can only imagine it is going to be one incredible sight to see. Now, I saw it yesterday, and it's the first time I've ever seen Air Force One take off and land, and what an impressive airplane that is.
Absolutely, and they basically have a choice of which way to land right now because the flags are basically, there's basically no wind. So we're unsure which direction he's going to approach the runway from. We're going to be checking it out for you, and we're going to try and get you a great shot. We are well situated to give you a fantastic shot of the Air Force One.
Well, thanks to you guys, I think we have the best spot on the whole entire podium. And I'll be honest with you, as far as media is concerned, we are positioned to have an uninterrupted view of this plane.
Now, people don't realize when we come here to set up for these rallies, there's a thing called preset, and what that entailed here is cameraman Brad and I came over here we got up at 4 in the morning to be here before 5 so we could come in here and stake out our spot up on the media riser to get you right now you see this great shot panning the crowd. If we were on the other side of the media riser or the platform where the media is, we wouldn't be able to bring you those. So we make that extra effort to get here early so that we can show you the entire rallies. And in this case, because of the view we have of the runway, we're going to get a fantastic shot of Air Force One when it lands.
Yeah, well, because he came in here and set up early, I think tonight you and I owe Brad a no rubber chicken buffet. I think we owe him a steak dinner buffet. I wouldn't, let's go really high end with lobster and maybe a shot of whiskey or something like that.
Thumbs up from Brad on that one. Absolutely. Thumbs up from Brad on that.
Absolutely. It's been nonstop the last 3 days for all of us as it's been rally after rally after rally. But you know what? I said this earlier. There is no other place I would rather be right now than on this podium talking to you and celebrating our president getting ready for a November 3rd election. This is the way it's all has come together, and we are excited to bring this to you uninterrupted, as you imagine. Now, we got a little bit of a late start today because of some technical difficulties on the internet here. It was tough for us to get our shot up and running. Therefore, we normally chat more. We normally can go into these chat rooms and talk about the donations and give everybody a shout out. We're just unable to do that today, so we definitely apologize for that, but we'll be back up for the next one. Yeah, as you see people wave to us, we love you. Thank you. 4 more years. We want that. A nice shout out with everybody, and it's all about the people, right? I feel like that we're the people's network, and we've seen time and time again. We've seen the president give Right Side Broadcasting a shout out as we are uninterrupted, unfiltered news organization, and so we certainly appreciate all the support that we get here at Right Side Broadcast. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, I had numerous people reach out to me on Facebook talking about, all right, we're going to talk about, toss it back to Joe in the studio. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
All right, Joe, back to you.
All right, thank you, Brian and Brick, doing a great job there. Will you just look at the size of this crowd? It's absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, I've never seen this kind of enthusiasm. Right Side Broadcasting has been following President Trump since 2015, and we were at the rallies in 2016, and we've been at every rally since, and I have never seen anything like this before in my life. This overflow goes back, I mean, you can't even hardly see the end of it. And the thing is, they just keep coming. They just keep coming. And they just keep coming. And sorry about that. So thank you all so much for allowing us to be here to capture these moments, because you're not going to see this anywhere on mainstream media. You're not. And that's why we exist at this moment in time. That's why we were born. We were born because no one would show the crowds, and here we are. And so we're very small, and we're very grassroots. We're very small grassroots company, and we couldn't do this without your help. You're the ones that put us here in these events. We've been to every one. We're going to be at every one. We've got another one today. We've got 2 tomorrow. We've got 3 or 4 of them on Friday. And then you're going to start seeing 5 a day from this high-energy president. Look at that. Look how far that goes back. I've never seen anything like it, and they just keep coming. And it wraps around to the other side as well. And we're blocked off. Our view is obscured, but we're going to try to get some of that as well and get a 360. But this is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Don't believe the polls. But also get out and vote. It's very important. And support us here at RSBN, because we're going to be tested over the next 6 days like never before. I mean, we're talking a lot of resources. If you've ever just do a dry run, go to Expedia, try to book try to book 4 different people in each crew, 6 crews, and try to put them in multiple locations all over the country. We're talking, tens of thousands of dollars per day that it's going to cost us. And so that's why we ask for your support. For those of you who have donated, thank you. I know everybody can't, and that's okay. Share our stream, help us grow, subscribe to us on YouTube. But if you want to support us financially, rsbnetwork.com/donate is the way to do it. We ask because we're viewer supported. We're viewer supported for a reason, and we're viewer supported because we don't want nobody telling us what we can and can't say and show you. That's why we're doing this right now. So thank you again. I'm going to throw it back to Brick and to Brian. Remember, right after this, another big one in Goodyear, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Live coverage of that coming up right after this.
All right, thanks, Joe. We are back here in Bull City, Arizona, waiting for President Trump. We keep looking in the skies. It seems like we spot Air Force One about every 5 minutes, but not yet. He's not there. But we do have Brick Suit down in the crowd giving out samples of Disney coins. Look at that, some samples that they've sent us to hand out to Trump supporters. As a reminder, we want to thank Disney Coin Company for being a partner here of Right Side Broadcasting. And you know what? These things are made right in the USA because they're made by U.S. machines and they're made by people who love this country as much as you do. And these are genuine silver and copper, and they make a valuable collector's gift. If you like to collect in coins, then Disney Coins is definitely something to consider. Now, they come in 20 plus patriotic designs, plus 2 new designs coming up as we go into the election. Join us, as everyone here at Right Side Broadcasting. We're collecting these coins, and we want you to help collect with us. Join in. Simply go into DisneyCoins.com. DisneyCoins.com. That's DisneyCoins.com. And while you're there, don't forget, when you're doing this, they're going to donate 10% of the profits back to conservative causes and organizations. So we're very like-minded with that. They want to support people who support conservatism, and that's exactly what they do. And get this, if you put in the promo code RSBN at checkout for a discount, hello, a discount. Who doesn't like that? And don't forget also the big giveaway this month. Enter to win on the left side of the screen. The more people that enter, the more winners there'll be. DisneyCoins.com, DisneyCoins.com. All right, so all of a sudden, the wind has really picked up here in the last 2 minutes. I mean, it's gone from absolutely no breeze at all to a good-sized breeze right now, that these large flags now are extended all the way out. Now, I guess that's just life in the desert at this point, as things can change every 5 minutes. And, of course, we were mentioning the wind earlier because that might dictate what side of the runway the president comes in at, because depending on the wind and the direction will dictate exactly what direction that he'll fly in on the runway. And we want to make sure we have our our cameras positioned in the right place. Now, I keep looking over towards the White House officials. I do see a plane coming in. That has got to be Air Force One, because I wouldn't imagine any planes coming in this area right now. Brad, it's just about over that, it looks like a dust smoke coming off on the very bottom of the runway. I would probably be safe to say that is Air Force One. Wouldn't you agree that no other plane would be in the air right now?
Oh, definitely no other planes in the air, but I have poor eyesight. Do you see one up in the air?
It's big from here, and if it's big from here, I can only imagine it's about, can't really gauge the distance here, but as it approaches, if you see right there, Brad, you got a little bit of a smoke coming off that hill. Look directly above that. Not too far.
Oh, yeah. Now I see it.
In your professional opinion, do you think that's Air Force One?
Absolutely, because this is going to be exclusion to airspace. There's nothing else that should be landing now. Looking at the flags, they are blowing. A stiff breeze has come up right now. It's almost as if they knew. I mean, those flags are now horizontal, so that plane is coming right into us.
I said that earlier, that the wind has really changed in the last 5 minutes. So here we have it. Hopefully we'll have a good shot. We're positioned well on the risers here to get to this landing, because this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful sights you can see at a Trump rally. Do you agree?
Yes, and is it possible to get goosebumps in the middle of Arizona?
Maybe a tear.
I mean, it is fantastic. Every time I see the president approach, you can feel it, and everybody's got it now. Everybody can see it. We're going to keep the camera on the plane, but everybody out here now can see it. All the cell phones are out. They're waiting for the president to land, and that is absolutely Air Force One coming in.
All right, I'm going to stand aside. Let's shift over to our left, because I want to make sure that Brad has a good angle when he pans around. I don't want to block his shot, but here we go. Air Force One moments away from landing here in Bullhead City, Arizona, just across the Colorado River from Laughlin, Nevada. If you're just now joining us, welcome. We are live here, uninterrupted, as we always are, and we're proud that you're watching us. And matter of fact, tag, share. Now's a good time to share this broadcast.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not an expert on this, but we might get a flyby.
You know what?
He seems a little high.
He does.
He seems a little high for how far out he is, and compared to the runway, it could be an optical illusion, but we might get a flyby here.
I would agree with you on that, because I would expect this aircraft to be much lower, but I know that this aircraft is like no other, so it can land relatively steep and take off at a steep rate as well.
Oh, absolutely. I am completely thinking flyby at this point. Could be wrong, but that's what I still think.
Well, you know what? He's not even lined up with the runway. He might go directly
right over us.
Right over there. The Air Force. I think you're right. We're going to get a flyover. I'm hoping. I am hoping that is the case.
The crowd knows it too. I think the crowd can tell. I still think it's a flyby.
I don't see that airplane descending at all, but like I said, it could be an optical illusion at this point. But we're moments away from finding out. If you're joining us, thank you for joining us. This is a very historic moment, a very crucial election, and you're witnessing one of the. If you don't get goosebumps on this, folks, check your pulse, because this is what it's all about. I don't know. It seems like he is dropping altitude a little bit.
Now that he's closer, we can see the landing gear down. We can see the flaps. So he is going to be landing. So I apologize for thinking it was going to be a flyby.
Well, it looked like it from that far out.
I believe he is landing now. It's definitely going to be a land. Perhaps it was just terrain that he had to clear. So definitely on descent. The president is landing in Air Force One as we speak, as you can see.
Of course, everyone here, if there's ever a time not to make a call right now on your cell phone, it's now. I think everyone's got their cell phones out. And here it comes. I hope we have a good shot through this. We got a crane here in front of us. Hopefully that doesn't block the vision here, but there you have it. Man, just about Air Force One's almost on the ground. And we have touchdown here in Bullhead City, Arizona. President Trump, by the sound of the crowd, letting them know that he is welcome here in the state of Arizona. And it's going to be a fantastic afternoon. I'm going to let you enjoy the sights here. Listen to the crowd. Unbelievable. I'm telling you right now, I don't think very many things in life will give you goosebumps like that. What's your thoughts?
That is incredible. I mean, it's just amazing to have that plane land on a relatively short runway here. Absolutely able to do it, and you can see starting to turn around now.
We got the Secret Service chasing him down the runway right now.
So the plane is going to taxi up along the taxiway here. It's going to park. You can see the ramps there. I don't know if they're in frame, but we're going to have a good shot of the president coming off the plane, and then he's going to make his way to the walkway. We'll see him on the entire ramp, and just amazing. That was a picture-perfect landing. It gives me goosebumps every time. It doesn't, I mean, it's like probably 60 degrees, 70 degrees right now.
Yeah.
Goosebumps still. I mean, it gives you a chill. It's fabulous to see.
And if you look at the runway right now, we're not going to show it to you, but it's extremely dusty. You can tell a very large plane just landed on this airstrip.
Right, and they put those thrust reversers on the engines to slow it down. That kicks up a lot of that dust as well.
Yeah, what a visual it is coming in here. And of course, you know, adversely, when it takes off, it's impressive as well. I got to see that for the first time last week.
Here she comes. That's a beautiful plane. Look at her just coming up the taxiway. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Let me step aside here so we don't want to block the view. There it is. So typically, and you've been to several of these, he'll get off the plane. Of course, the press corps will come off first. They'll get in place, and then a picture opportunities. He'll meet local dignitaries that's here as well, and then eventually make it to the stage.
That's right. So the press corps will be debarking from the stairs at the rear of the plane typically, and then the president shortly thereafter. So everything is going perfectly according to plan right now. The president is here very, very close to just being perfectly at noon. Wow, what a sight. That is just incredible.
That is incredible. And of course, the last couple of rallies we've attended to, he's gotten there a little late because obviously they stack these things one after another. So if one's 30 minutes behind, then the other ones just get kicked back as far. But you know what? Lucky for us, we're here. He's on time.
Yes. And it looks like where they parked it, I'm going to check real quick here, but just from where I'm standing, we may not get a shot of him coming out of the door. That Make America Great Again sign might be in the way. So while we may miss him getting off the plane, we will have him on the complete runway. I mean, basically the catwalk to the stage, the runway to the stage. You can see the Secret Service members there are already in place to protect the president, look out for his well-being, and we also have the limousines and the other assorted parts of his motorcade in case there should be a need for an exit. The Secret Service, dedicated to protecting the president, leaves nothing to chance. Leaves absolutely nothing to chance.
Nothing to chance here. And of course, it's really interesting to see all the different moving parts at one of these rallies and what it takes to put together everything from, and let's just a shout out to the crane companies. I mean, all the people that put up the fencing, the seats, the cranes, the signs, the speakers, the audio, the risers. This takes time. It takes people to put this all together, and it's just a beautiful thing to see it all come together on this day. If you're just joining us, welcome. Right Side Broadcasting right here on Facebook or YouTube, and if you appreciate it, just share this broadcast and tell everybody that, hey, log on right now. You're about to witness some history.
All right, and while we're waiting right now, we've got a brief lull before the press corps debarks. Let's remind everybody of the way that they can support us. We are a small company. We're David versus Goliath. We do not have the resources of these larger companies. And that's why we depend upon your support to get us to these rallies so we can continue to bring you all these fantastic shots. The best way that you can support us is by making a donation at rsbnetwork.com/donate. That's rsbnetwork.com/donate. Or on YouTube, you can go to Super Chat, make a donation there. You can also mail us a donation to RSBN at 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6. That's Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama, 36830. And in addition to your direct support through your donations, we also couldn't do it without our partners. So I want to go again, tell you about Disney Coins once again before the president debarks. Right now, you're not missing anything. I can see the stairs at the rear of the plane have been opened. The press corps is coming out. So let's talk about Disney Coins. Disney Coins are the epitome of Made in America because they're made in the USA by machines that are made in America and by people who deeply love America. The coins are made with genuine silver and copper, and they're valuable, and they're unique, and they're a worthwhile purchase, which always means they make perfect presents. They come in over 20 designs. We're introducing new designs each month, and you can collect them along with us. Disney Coins is giving 10% of the profits back to conservative causes and organizations, and their benefits causes meaningful to you. So go to DisneyCoins.com. That's www.DisneyCoins.com to check out the inventory and start your very own collection of Trump coins today. Use the code RSBN at checkout for a discount, and while you're there, don't forget to sign up for the election giveaway. If we have 5,000 people that sign up for the free Disney Coins newsletter, Disney Coins will give away 5,000 coins, 1,500 coins. So the door is open. The president is not coming out yet, and he will not come out until the press pool is ready. So the crowd is cheering. They do see that door open, but I believe that the president will not be debarking for at least a few more minutes.
Just look at the size of this plane real quickly. Obviously, there's is it a 3-story plane? Could you say that? Because I definitely got 2 levels there.
Yeah, the other broadcast I was talking about when I was in Pennsylvania, I was giving some stats about the Osprey and the helicopters. I haven't looked into Air Force One too much yet. It's a huge plane, but to me, it's got 2 wings, 4 engines, but the most important thing is it carries the president, and it is just wonderful to see it. Everything else is kind of icing on the cake. It's got that classic color scheme, but to me, it's just a fantastically beautiful plane. And
the president often joked about taking this job, and he actually went down as far as the quality of the plane that he had in his personal life versus his public service life. But what a beautiful plane! Hey, I want to go back to Disney Coin just real quickly. They give back to conservative causes. You know how important that is, that companies reinvest in conservative ideas. There's a lot of companies out there that donate to the radical left, that push radical agendas. Disney Coins is fighting all of that. So if anything, please go to the website and buy a coin, because you know that a certain percentage of that profit goes back to conservative companies and conservative values. And there's nothing more patriotic from that, because if you really look about where your money goes and who it funds, it's nice to know that I can buy a coin and it's going to fund conservative values and support charities that are dear to our heart. So I just want to go back and touch upon that, because I think it's so important in this day and age when you see companies not wanting to take a political stand. You see companies not wanting to take anything like that. And Disney Coins does just that. So I send them all the love and respect for really putting their money where their mouth is.
And we just saw Kayleigh McEnany get off the rear staircase there. She just deplaned. I've spoken with our cameraman Brad, and we unfortunately do not have a shot of the president as he comes out of the nose of the plane. So we'll be showing you this shot right now. We should be able to see him walking across frame, then he'll disappear behind the center set of bleachers, and then we'll pick him up again as he comes up the stairs.
And it's interesting how a lot of the press corps and the White House has their own camera crew. They're setting up on the risers around here. So obviously it won't get started until they have their tripods set in place, the cameras are attached, and they're ready to go as well. So they're just like us. They got to get in place. They got to get prepared to bring all the action to their inner White House feed as well.
Absolutely, but we're close now. We are not far away at all. I can see that the White House press corps is now in the pit. They have made their way to the around the podium. And now right now, if you can get the podium, I'm not sure, Brad, if you can get the podium, we're going to see the gentleman testing out. This is something that happens each time. He's making final adjustments to the teleprompter, checking those out. He's making sure they're set at the right height and angle. And I didn't see the glass of water being brought out yet, but typically that happens as well. These are the last minute adjustments that happen prior to the president taking the podium. And that is moments away, moments away.
And can't you imagine right now the president has come through some really key battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, up in the north. It's nice to come down to 71 degrees and a light breeze. Very comfortable afternoon for the president, because we saw him down in North Carolina. He joked about the sun being so hot today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Like you said earlier, the wind knew that President Trump was about to land.
It did. We commented right before Air Force One Mizzou arrived that the flags were just hanging straight down. There was no breeze. And then all of a sudden, like clockwork, the desert sun heating up the air around here, that breeze kicked up, and it is steady. We've got that gorgeous American flag and the thin blue line flag signaling support for our law enforcement. It's amazing.
Let's think about this for a second. Is this a sign from Mother Nature that good things are to come when we see these flags extended out like this, nice and proud, blown in the wind, moments before the president lands? I think there's something there. I don't think it's just a coincidence that the wind kicked up here for people. I don't think at all. I think this is showing favor. This is like the wind is celebrating this country. Am I going too deep on that, or I think there's something there?
The more I go to these rallies, the more I've traveled across the country, the less I believe that things are happening solely by chance.
Absolutely.
I can say that.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, what would you say? You've been to numerous, 5,000, 10,000?
The crowd here?
It goes all the way back.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but I would say 8 to 10,000 people.
8 to 10,000 people probably here, and of course we've seen.
It's crowded. It goes deep on the tarmac. It's a very unusual rally. It's not wide. It's not compact. It's very long. It's elongated. So it's difficult to gauge the square footage here.
And usually the throw between the risers and the stage is about 75 feet. That seems to be what the distance is between our cameras and the podium for the president, about 75 feet. So we've got a good vantage point for him as well. That's pretty always consistent. But like he said, this crowd really goes all the way down. And my goodness, they have turned out. Of course, we were here early in the morning. Crowds were lined up like they typically are at a rally, even sometimes the night before, if not early in the morning, because they know this is a very special time in our country. And of course, this election is the most crucial election, I think, in American history. This is the Well, we're going to go two directions on November 3rd. Either we're going to continue liberty and keep our preservation of what our founding fathers laid out, or we're going to take a radical turn to the left. And that's neither one of us, and I don't think any American wants that.
We can't do that. And I think it's becoming apparent with Joe essentially in hiding as the president is crisscrossing America, having rallies, supporting his reelection. And Joe, I think yesterday he had one in Georgia with, I believe there were 32 people in small white circles 12 feet apart. I mean, they were great white circles, but they were not indicative of any type of support that Joe Biden might have in that state.
Absolutely. Now, I heard a foreign press person tell me a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to share what network he was with, but he actually thought that this type of gathering was dangerous. And I thought it was interesting because that's the message I think that the left wants to put on this, that we're all being very irresponsible. And look, as I look around, I don't know about you, there's quite a few people with masks on. The social distancing obviously is not it's not applicable here. Obviously,
we're outside.
But people are wearing a mask, and people are being probably cognizant. If you're a high risk factor, they're probably taking precautions.
Brett, that's exactly it. Because people should be free to assess their own risk here. It's not something where the state should be dictating what you could do. This is really not the state's place to say you cannot have a gathering to support a political cause or candidate that you want to show your support for. Everybody needs to assess their own risk personally, and if they're in a group where it's appropriate that they should self-isolate, then absolutely they should do that. But that doesn't mean that the entire economy and everyone else needs to be in equal isolation.
Yeah. Now, last night, as I was catching my flight out of Detroit, I tried to get something to eat at some local restaurants. Every place I went was either closed or drive-through only. States like Michigan, states like Pennsylvania the business there is at a gridlock. They are hurting. The small business owner in these states are suffering, and they need to open. Or we're going to see. Well, we've already seen massive amounts of closures, but I can only anticipate more will happen if we don't get states like Arizona, Nevada open.
That's absolutely right. And before I think he's going to be coming out very shortly. Before we just go to another topic, I'm going to say, boy, if you're watching this at home, the love in this crowd for the president, you can feel it. It is just amazing. We're going to see it. We're going to see it very shortly. This crowd has been waiting patiently, and I think it's very, very close. Very close.
And you said this on the way here last night in the car, that you used to kind of occasionally hear "I love you" from the crowd, and I don't think President Trump knew how to take that, because he has been met with so much anger from the left. But now "we love you" has been a consistent chant at just about every Trump rally.
Absolutely. And basically, it happened one in North Carolina, and people heard it. And at the next rally, it happened again. because people are tuned in to these rallies here on RSBN and elsewhere. But I can tell you that RSBN showed that chant in its entirety, and it was because of clips like that. I know that not all the other networks are going to show it. We did, and we did that because you were able to support us getting to these rallies. And it just, that support is crystallized in the last month. It is really becoming vocal. It's really, people are tired of being told that they must be ashamed to be an American, that they should not have patriotism, that they should not show love for our country, respect for our flag, and respect for our president. And that is really, that's a notion that's going by the wayside. People are saying, I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to let Hollywood tell me that there's something wrong with my country, that there's something wrong with America. I'm not going to let leftist politicians tell me that because of something that they've decided now was wrong 200, 300 years ago, that we can't celebrate our country today and move forward in the best way that we know how, to strive to continue to make our country better, which is what we've always done. It doesn't mean that we've always been perfect. We recognize that. But that does not mean that we should be ashamed of anything America has done.
Absolutely. I want to let everybody know watching us right now, I pray for Right Side Broadcasting. I pray for this network every single night. I pray for our viewers. I pray for people watching us right now. I pray for favor over you, that whatever you're going through in your life, whatever challenge you have in your life, if your job, your personal life, your home life, your family life, your love life, whatever challenge you're facing right now, I'm praying over each and every viewer watching this, that God favors you, because I think God is doing amazing things in this country, and he's doing amazing things on the right side. We have met people that have watched this network from day one, and it's because of those people we're allowed to do what we do.
100%, 100%. And I've been looking at the alignment of people here. It does seem to be a reception line formed on the tarmac. They are kind of orderly, whereas before they were milling about. So I think all the signs point to perhaps at the end of this song or even sooner, the president will be debarking.
And as love, when they announce the president, to listen to the crowd come up, and then when that happens, obviously we'll cut to the nat sound of the crowd of him coming out. But it really is something to see, and we only got a few campaign stops before the election, so I just encourage you, if there's a Trump rally anywhere near you and it's driving distance or flying distance, heck, I met people at the airport last night that flew in just for this rally.
Yeah, and if you can't be there, if you can't make it in person, which I highly recommend you do, the next best thing is watching the rallies here on RSBN. Invite some people over. Maybe some people who are undecided. Maybe some people who love America, but haven't chosen who they're going to vote for yet. Let them see an entire Donald Trump rally in start to finish, not the way that the media is going to cut it up to you and feed it to you and like, here's something that we're going to misrepresent by showing you only this part. Let them see the entire thing.
Yeah, the other day, Ali Vershi on MSNBC noted that Trump was in North Carolina and made no mention of Native Americans, and that was the reason why he was there. But guess what, folks? We had that speech in its entirety. I clipped the speech that he gave a shout out to Native Americans, put that up on Twitter. So it's broadcasting like this that we're able to factually go against the narrative of the left about whatever the president is. The music is going down. Let's see if this is an announcement for the president.
Ladies and welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
That's a lot of people. Wow. Thank you very much. This is quite a crowd. This is quite a crowd. Thank you very much. Hello, Arizona. Hello, Arizona. And hello to everybody right here in Nevada. I love Nevada too. You got Nevada, we have Arizona. How many people are from Arizona? How many people are from Nevada? Not bad, not bad. That's not bad. 6 days from now, we are going to win Arizona. We are going to win Nevada. And we are going to win 4 more years in our great White House. Look at the fake news back there. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. You know, I got a poll this morning. We're one up in Wisconsin, right? No? We were there last night. It was very cold. It was very cold. But we had a great time. A tremendous crowd. Like this, a tremendous crowd. And then tonight, last night I heard, but this morning, I get a fake poll. So we're one up in a real poll, or even, or whatever, but we'll end up winning it. But I get a poll. ABC, Washington Post, they're fakes. Trump, 17 down in Wisconsin. 17. Think of it. And they tried it last time 4 years ago, too, and that didn't work out too well. It's just unbelievable how dishonest the media is. I say it because there they are, just very dishonest people. Very dishonest. The vote for me is a vote for massive middle-class tax cuts, regulation cuts, fair trade, strong borders, and American energy independence. It's what's going to happen. Turn up the mic. It's a vote to support our police, support our military, defend our Second Amendment, which is under siege, stand up to China, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that beautiful phrase. You know what the phrase is? Made in the USA. We will deliver record prosperity, epic job growth, and a safe vaccine is coming very quickly. You're going to have it momentarily. That eradicates the virus, and we're rounding the turn regardless. You know that. We've got the vaccine. I say regardless, they'll say, well, maybe you don't. We have it. Great companies. And quickly ends the pandemic. Should have never come here from China. They should have never let it out. We'll never forget. All over the world, you see what's happening in Europe, all over the world. Normal life will fully resume. That's what we want, right? Normal life. Normal life. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. A vote for sleepy Joe Biden, and he is a sleepy guy, I'll tell you what. You know, it's a powerful party, and the party is totally joined with the fake news media, the lamestream media right there. And they're totally joined with the big tech. I don't know, Section 230. Does anyone know what Section 230 you do? Section 230, I think, you know, tremendous corruption on behalf of the Biden, tremendous. Do you know you can't find it anywhere in the media other than the New York Post, which I'm very proud of, and they endorsed me the other day too, by the way. But you can't find it anywhere in the media, anywhere. It's not on it's not in Facebook. They have trending. They always put me trending. They'll give you 25 things that I've done over my life. They make it negative, always negative trending. But Sleepy Joe Biden, with all the corruption, all the theft, all the money they took out of these countries that we end up paying for in spades, you can't find it on big tech, and you can't find it at the Washington Post, the New York Times, because they're crooked, they're dishonest, and we caught them. We caught them just like we caught them spying on our campaign. Just like we caught them spying on our campaign. We caught him spying. A vote for Biden is a vote for the biggest tax hike in the history of our country. This is the only guy I've ever seen. He's campaigning because he has no clue. He's shot, just so you understand. And I'll say it. Because I've said, hey, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Here's a guy gets caught, and the media doesn't want to write about it. You know what they call it? Not freedom of the press, suppression of the press. We don't have freedom of the press. You know what? We don't have, you understand that? We don't have freedom of the press. We have suppression of the press. And there's never been a time when it's more obvious than right now. Is that right? Is that right, Charlie? Hi, Dan. He wants crushing regulation. By the way, he doesn't want them. He has no idea where he is. They carried him off the stage yesterday. Give me a break. His people grabbed him. Get him off. Get him off. He's trying to make it to the finish line. I mean, honestly, it's a disgrace. The whole thing is a con job. Should have never been the candidate. And you know what? They have a corrupt party. And all of this work being done by big tech and being done by the media, that should be considered a major, massive billion-dollar campaign contribution, because that's what it is. They slash Medicare and Social Security. He wants to knock out your Medicare, your Social Security, and he wants to abolish a thing called American Energy. You see that, right? No fracking. There'll be no fracking. No, for a year he's going no fracking. He gets the nomination. He goes to Pennsylvania. They tell him, Joe, you have to change. Oh, okay. What do you want me to say? I love fracking. Say I love. So he goes from no fracking to I love fracking. A vote for Sleepy Joe Biden is a vote for open borders, offshoring jobs, shredding your Second Amendment, which is totally under siege, by the way. You're so lucky I'm your president. What a nice group. By the way, we are substantially up in a state known as Arizona. Do you know about that, right? Substantially. And I hear we're up in Nevada. Is that right, Michael? We're up in Nevada? We're a little concerned with all those ballots floating around in Nevada. Got a lot of ballots floating around in Nevada. Hey, you know, it's windy as hell out here. You know? I said, is it windy? Should I bring a hat? Because I don't love my hair flopping around. One thing, at least they figured out after 3 years that it is mine. If it wasn't, I would have found out about it today. You know, should I put on a hat? Should I put it on like... Nice hat. I want to know, who has worn this hat before? That's all I want to know. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Am I allowed to do it? I'll do it if you want. Otherwise... What a guy. Yes? Better? Nice hat. You know, we're going to change the hat. So we made America great again. We created the greatest economy in the history of the world. And then we had the plague come in from China, and now we're doing it again. Our numbers are unbelievable. And by the way, you're going to have a very big number. I even say hold off in your vote until it happens, because a lot of you want to wait till Tuesday anyway, which is going to be a great, great red wave. But you know what? Before that happens, and I don't know what it is, but the Atlanta Fed just predicted a very big number, biggest in the history of our country. You're going to have GDP coming out. It's going to be announced. And it's going to be announced probably on the 1st, maybe a day before the 1st. And if that number's not big, you don't even have to vote for me, okay? I think it's going to be maybe the biggest number in the history of our country, GDP. That's our big number, right? I'm taking a chance when I say that. You don't even have to vote for me. Okay, who here is voting for Trump? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's good. And are you waiting till tell me, are you waiting till Tuesday to do this, which is, okay, good if you can get out now. Is anybody sending in a ballot, or are you going in and doing it the old-fashioned way? That's what I did. I just did that. But whatever you do, you have to go out and vote. Who here is going to vote for Sleepy Joe Biden? I had a leader of a country call up. He's a very tough leader, tough as hell. They're going to figure it out, maybe. Although they wouldn't, if it was right, if it was good, they were not going to report it. And he said, I hope Biden doesn't win because he's always sleeping. That was an interesting say. This is a killer. Says, I hope he doesn't win because he's always sleeping. You know, I thought he was being funny. I said, you happen to be right about that. This election is a choice between a Trump super recovery and a Biden depression. You will have a depression, the likes of which you haven't seen before, maybe 1929. Wants to raise your taxes, put regulations back on. And remember this, get rid of your Second Amendment. Remember this. Remember this. Pro-life, anybody pro-life? There's so many different things. This is the single biggest election, in my opinion, and I never thought I'd say it, in the history of our country. This is the biggest in the history of our country. It's a choice between a Trump boom and a Biden lockdown. He'll close it up. He'll close it up. It's really something. And, you know, we talk about the American dream. We had the American dream. It was all coming together. There was going to be, believe it or not, unity. I was getting called from people, you wouldn't believe it. And then we had this thing come in. It came in, and it came in the invisible enemy came in. And we went back to work, and we saved 2 million people. It was going to be 2.2 million people. We saved maybe more than that. But it's a choice between the American dream and a socialist nightmare. That's what it is. And the reason it's such an important is because, you've heard me say it many times, our country will never be a socialist country. And that's where they want to take us. That's where they want to take us. That's where they want to take us. I'm fighting for the dreams of all Americans, including millions of truly amazing Hispanic Americans. Who's Hispanic? Who's Hispanic? Oh, they're shocked. They don't believe it. You know, the polls with Hispanics are through the roof. They're reporting on it. I said, I never had a problem. I always liked Hispanic, but they're getting to understand me and the incredible progress that we made. So the polls with Hispanic Americans are the highest ever in the history of our country for a Republican, but it could be that we're going to top them. And once we top them, you're going to forget about them because we've really gotten along. The poll, oh, by the way, who saw the debate the other night? Anybody? Anybody watch it? You see the poll? 91-9. That's, I don't know the word. 91-9. That's not bad. I got angry at the media. I thought it should have been better than that. And I felt like Perry Mason because he admitted right at the end, his last statement. I said, does that mean you don't like oil, Joe? No, it's Perry Mason. You ever watch, right? Columbo. How about Columbo? It's the same thing. Right at the end, does that mean, oh, did he blow it? They've been working for 5 days. And then they had to go to Pennsylvania where fracking's a big deal, right? And how about Texas? You think they like him in Texas? No oil. Think of this. No oil, no guns, Second Amendment, no God, religion. And then I hear Trump has a 1-point lead in Texas. I don't think so. You know, I used to hear this 4 years ago all the time. He cannot win the great state of Ohio. He must win. We won by 8 points. Trump has never done this before. He cannot win Texas under no circumstances. He cannot win Texas. We won, I don't know, by a lot, whatever it was. Remember Utah? We had the guy from Utah. He was a specialist in Utah. He was going to win Utah. He came in third. Even Crooked Hillary beat that guy. Remember, shaved his head? Nice shaved head, nice guy. You remember his name? Yeah, I remember his name. He's one of the others. Another rhino. You know, we're against a lot. Jesus. I didn't start. I'm an innocent bystander. Every time that starts, he started it. So I always act extremely innocent. All I have to do is mention her name. Crooked, disgraceful, deplorable, irredeemable. You know, they said deplorable and irredeemable. Who would have thought her speech would have turned out to be? She came out, she said deplorable, but she also said irredeemable. And to show you what I know, I said, oh, she used the word irredeemable about our people. That's terrible. But it was deplorable that caught on, right? But whoever her speechwriter is, I don't want him or her. That was a disaster. But I never thought it was going to be that bad. You know, the next day I showed up at a rally. Everybody said, I'm a deplorable. Oh, boy. But she was a lot smarter than Sleepy Joe, but they've got a little bit different kind of a thing going right now. They're more desperate, you know? They're more desperate. They're totally desperate because they have a candidate. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They took him off a stage yesterday. You saw that, right? He called me George. He thought I was George Bush. He called me George. It's unbelievable. You know, I didn't know if I was happy or if I wasn't happy. Because he called me, I mean, you know, and his wife was sitting right next to him, and she's looking like, so tough, too fat. You could see she was under great stress. For the last 4 years, by the way, these suckers are moving like hell. I think let's go off those, you know? Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter, right? They are moving like crazy. They are moving like crazy, and that's okay with me. Thank you. And I love you. I do. I love you. You know, that's a phrase, and they say it. I think even the fake news would admit it. Nobody's ever heard, we all liked Ronald Reagan, but nobody ever said, we love you, we love you, we love you. And he wouldn't get crowds like this. If Ronald Reagan, who I consider be top-notch, if he came here, he'd have a couple of hundred people legitimately. He'd go into a ballroom, someplace inside, he'd go into a ballroom, and it'd have 200-300 people. And that's that's what the standard was. We're having 25, 30, 35, 40, 45,000 people. And I'd leave some of these crowds. We were packed in Florida and all these places. And I'd leave some of the crowds and I'd look at that. Look at that. You can't even see the end. You can't even see. If they were legitimate, they'd show. They never show it on camera. They never show it on camera. Get the mic turned up. Turn it up. They never ever show it. They don't like to show it. You know what they do show? Barack Hussein Obama yesterday, they made the mistake. The camera slipped, and they showed his crowd. He had about 20 people there, Barack Hussein, which was about 10 people more than Sleepy Joe had yesterday. You know, we were in Pennsylvania, right? You saw that. And we had 3 rallies, all in Pennsylvania. It was incredible. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And Joe was in his basement, and he saw it. And his handlers, much more importantly, saw it. They say, Sleepy Joe, we have to get you out of here. We got to move you in. I mean, it's not looking good because, you know, they put a lid on, a lid for a garbage can. That's where it comes from. They put a lid on. And he has a lid today again. The guy's got lids every damn day. And then he said, he doesn't want to have big crowds. Really? Because of COVID. He's such a great citizen. He's such a great guy. Then why did he cheat so much with Hunter? Where's Hunter, by the way? Is Hunter here? Where's Hunter? Where is Hunter? Remember we did the t-shirt, Where's Hunter? It sold like vodka. Now we have, it's called the laptop from hell. The laptop from hell, bro. This is the greatest laptop I've ever seen. This thing is gold. It's gold, except for the news that doesn't want to look at it. They refuse to look at it. This is the laptop from hell. It's the worst. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, except for Anthony Weiner. That was a long time. I would rate Anthony's maybe even worse. I don't know. Anthony, that was not good. For the last 4 years, I've been delivering the Hispanic Americans a message like they haven't heard for a long time. I'm fighting for school choice, right? School choice, big deal. Safe neighborhoods, Hispanic-owned small businesses. We have great business people here. I know some of them. I've helped some of them. And are incredible. These people don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me recover my ears for 1 second. Whoever did this microphone, don't pay him. I have a reputation for not paying, and it's a false reputation. When somebody does a lousy job, like a microphone that's no good, or like teleprompters that fly with the wind, I say, don't pay him. But we love our incredible Hispanic American members of law enforcement, and we have a lot of them here today. We achieved the lowest Hispanic the lowest Hispanic American unemployment ever recorded, not even close. And we're getting back to those numbers again. The last number of months, 11.4 million, a record, people were hired. Joe Biden would obliterate every single thing that we've done. He's looking to do that. He's looking to obliterate our tax cuts. So we gave tax cuts, the biggest in history. He wants to end the tax cuts. He wants to end the child tax credits, $1,000 per child. He wants to end them. Wiping out your small businesses with lockdowns, regulations, gutting your police departments and devastating your families with the massive tax hikes. I said it's the biggest in history. It's not going to happen. You know why it's not going to happen? Because he's not going to win. We can't have him win. He will attack religious liberty and his running mate, the most liberal member of Congress. She makes Bernie Sanders look like a super conservative, okay? I don't think she's for the people of Arizona or Nevada. And we want to know, who are their judicial nominees? Who are they? Who are you going to put on the court? They want to pack the courts, right? How do you like our nominee? Amy. Right? Amy is good. Amy. Biden wants to ban charter schools, fund extreme late-term abortion. He wants to fund late-term, even beyond late-term. You saw the governor of Virginia, the child is born, and then they make a decision as to execution of the child. You saw that, the governor of Virginia, and Biden totally supports him. And surrender your country to the violent socialist mob. Take a look at Philadelphia last night. Take a look. And we offered to go in. We'd stop that in 2 minutes. We'd offer to go in. And they said, stand back to the police. The police want to do their job. They don't want that to happen. They're good. I think they endorse me too. Everybody, all police departments endorse me. That's why we are going to win a record share of Hispanic Americans, of African Americans, of Asian Americans. We're going to win a historic share of women. Remember last time? He will not get women, remember? He will not get women. Well, it didn't work out that way, right? At the end of the night, I don't know what happened. He got a lot of women. We did very well with women. You know why? Women are very smart. They want security. They want safety. If they're from suburbia, the suburban women, they give me a hard time with suburban women, the people, the fake news. You know what they want? They want security, and they don't want their neighborhood destroyed. And I ended the regulation that would destroy their neighborhood. But I'm not just running against Joe Biden. I'm running against the left-wing mob and the left-wing media, the big tech giants. And I'm also running against the rhinos. Do you know what a rhino is? A rhino may be the lowest form of human life. I actually sort of like the others better than the rhinos. You know why? Wow. That plane's about 4 days old. You know, we have all brand new equipment, F-35s, everything. We're the envy of the world. You know what? We are the envy. Do you know about that, Dan? We're the envy. Look at that sucker. He's trying to show off to the president. Yeah, that's one of ours. I got to be sure about it. Got to be careful. And they have nothing but disdain for you and for your values. They lecture you on open borders. By the way, we don't have borders. They want to have open borders. You know, we're just now completing the wall. The wall will be finished very soon. Mexico will be paying for the wall, by the way. But they lecture you on everything. If a country doesn't I love that sound. I love it. You don't know what I went through to get those suckers up there. I had to get that money from the Democrats. Oh, look at that. Look. Oh, look at that. They gave the president a little display. Whoa. Wow. How about that? How about that? I wonder if the fake news caught that. Did you see that camera? Because they never turn the camera. They don't want to show anything that's good. Wow, that was something, huh? So they were trying to get our attention with the Independent over here. And he got my attention, even though he was very high. But that was beautiful. Nobody in the world has the equipment that we have. Listen to that. Oh, I love it. You don't know how hard it is to get Democrats to pay for that stuff. They don't realize how important it is. They support crippling lockdowns while their jobs remain totally exempt. They keep your kids out of school. And you know what they want to teach in school? We don't teach that in school. We've ended that. Their families, they have private tutors. They want to take away your guns, your Second Amendment. Your Second Amendment is so under siege. But we're going to keep your Second Amendment. Nothing's going to be changing. I don't see the people of Arizona or Nevada. About 19% of the people here are from Nevada. Oh, don't worry. I just left Nevada, by the way. I'll be back there very soon. And they all have armed guards. We got to tell these people, don't have armed guards. They don't want you to have guards. From now on, no more armed guards. Let's outlaw armed guards. You like that idea? How about Nancy Pelosi? She goes into San Francisco. And she wants to get her beautiful hair redone. And she ends up with a total Trump supporter as the owner of the beauty parlor. I like that woman. I'm going to go and have my hair done by that woman. She was great. With your vote, man, is it windy. Are you as windy as this? I think it's from the F-35 that we just saw. With your vote, you can send the wealthy liberal hypocrites a message that they'll never forget under Biden's cruel and senseless lockdowns. Countless Americans will die, and you know this, from suicide, drugs, deferred medical care. There's so many different things. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. And Arizona, you're opened up. But Nevada, get your governor to open up your state, please. Get him to open up your state. Nevada, get him to open it up. If you vote for Biden, your kids will not be in school. He wants to shut it down. He was saying the other day, just saying, oh, we'll shut it down. Let me tell you, it is devastating for our nation. And we did just the right thing. We closed it down. We understood the disease. It affects, like, as an example, me. Guess who had it? I had it. I'm sure none of you heard that story. In fact, this rally, usually we set up the rallies. We don't call them rallies anymore. We call them friendly protests because you're allowed to protest, but you're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to have dinner with your friends. You can't do anything, right? You can't do anything. So we call everything a protest. This way we have no problem. No, we have states where you can only protest. You can't do anything else. So we cancel rallies. Then I had the idea. I said, wait a minute, let's just call it a protest. And we had a lot of people. We had a good time. With Sleepy Joe, there'd be no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgiving. They're already talking about no Thanksgiving. And in California, you have a special mask. You cannot, under any circumstances, take it off. You have to eat through the mask. It's a... Right? Right, Charlie? It's a very complex mechanism. And they don't realize those germs, they go through it like nothing. They look at you with that contraption and they say, that's an easy one. I'll go right through with the food. Now, how about California, though, where you're supposed to eat with the mask? Can't take it off. You see people? And boy, you know, when you have spaghetti and meat sauce, that mask is not looking. You walk out, it looks like you got into a fight with Dana White. Where's Dana? You fought one of Dana White. I saw Dana White. Does anybody know who Dana White is? Looks like you got into a fight with one of his fighters, right? Now, you don't have Christmas. You don't have the 4th of July. No, we got to get back to normal, but you got to open up the states. By the way, just so you know, on November 4th, they'll announce your state is open. And on November 4th, all of a sudden, the COVID, you turn on television, we have great numbers. We have some incredible numbers. You know, mortality is way down and way better than Europe and other places. All sorts of things are happening with the, therapies, the therapeutics, cures. I think maybe a cure. I wasn't feeling great. And I was surrounded by doctors. And they gave me something, and the next day, I felt I could take this guy in a fight like... No problem. No problem. But Sleepy Joe, I don't think Sleepy Joe would be a good fighter, do you? I asked Dana before. One gentle little touch to the face, and he's down. He's down, and he wouldn't get up very quickly either, would he? Joe Biden's only idea, remember he said, I'd like to take him to the back of the barn. Okay. Now, if I ever said that to him, they'd say, he practices violence. The president practices violence. No, that's right. Remember he said, I would take him to the back of... That's like, if you have to fight somebody, that's your dream fight, right? Sleepy Joe. This guy never leaves. You know, he never leaves. They had something, because I'm doing 3-4 of these a day, and you think that's easy, right? The sun is blazing, the wind is going crazy. I did one last night in Michigan. It was about 30 degrees. And it was raining, and the rain was going, sideways, like one of these jobs. But we had an incredible crowd of people because, they're all great. They're all like us, the same. They love our country. That's what they do. They love our country. And I brought so many auto plants to Michigan. If I don't win Michigan, that would be a tough one. And look what we've done for this one here. Look, both of you, for both of your states. The These guys, yeah, that's right. You can't. Maybe, no, it's probably a rhino is operating with them. They're having a bad day today. They're having a bad day, but we're having a good day. Thank you. It's all right. Don't worry. Hey, fellas, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. The Biden plan will crush you, will crush your family. We will crush the virus, and you will have an economy the likes of which we've never had before, better than last year. You had your best year ever last year. This is going to be better, and you see where we're going. It's a super event. It's a super event. Since the China virus arrived, we've airlifted amounts of material the likes of which nobody has done since the Second World War. It's one of the greatest ever. Nobody has done since the Second World War. We pioneered groundbreaking therapies, reduced and I'm telling you, we're down 85%. Think of that. Think of that. Down 85%. Nobody has any idea what that means, and that's all been done within a short period of time. And you know, I say it. So I had it. My wife had it. Our great First Lady. Does everybody like our First Lady? She made a speech yesterday in Pennsylvania, and they loved her. She made a speech. She's a very elegant woman. She gets hit almost as hard as I do. They go after her. And she's cool, you know, she's very cool. She goes, oh, that's okay, no problem. Me, I want to go get them, I want to. She goes, that's no problem, it's no problem. She's got a very extreme confidence somehow, you know, that's okay, it's all right. She says, that's their problem, not my problem. How cool is that, right? But she did a great job. She got actually great reviews. She made a speech in Pennsylvania, and it was fantastic. She's a great First Lady. She really loves you. She loves our country. But she had it. She got better. I had it. I got better. But Barron had it. Barron. Barron is my young son who happens to be very tall. He's tall. Hi, Barron. How you doing? Barron's 14. When you're 6'5" and you're 14, that's pretty tall. Right? I walk out of the helicopter with Barron. Hi, Barron. Are you having a good time? But he's strong, and he goes like the doctor, Sean. He's a great doctor. He goes, he's the White House doctor. Sir, Barron has tested positive, sir. I'm sorry to inform you. I say, oh, that's bad. What does that mean? Positive for what? He goes, for COVID. Or, you know, we have about 30 names. China virus, the plague, whatever you want to go. The plague from China. We have to be accurate. Barron has tested positive. And I said, that's too bad. Like 2 minutes later, I said, how's Barron doing? Oh, it's okay. It's all gone. 99.9%, right? You know, they have strong immune systems. Much stronger than our immune system. Much, much stronger. I'm working to make the breakthrough treatment that I received, and what we're going to do is we're making it, because I had a thing called Regeneron. We're going to make it available to anybody that needs it free. Free. And I do suggest it. Now, I don't know if it helped me or is it just the power. You know, I made a statement and they took it very seriously. CNN, fake news, total fake news. And I got better very quickly, and I said, well, I should, because I'm a perfect physical specimen and I'm very young. They went crazy. He is not young and he is not a perfect specimen. They went crazy. They went crazy. They have no sense of humor whatsoever, do they? Huh? Thanks to our relentless efforts, 97% of all emergency room visits, 97% are for something other than the virus. Think of that. Because we understand it now. We understand it. People are getting better. And you know, you're immune. That's why I could jump right there. See those men? I'll kiss the men. I'm not into that, but I will kiss every man there and kiss every woman there, if you don't mind also. They won't catch anything, and you know what? I won't catch, because they say, and until I came along, right, they said, if you have it, you get better. You're immune for life. But when I said I had it, I got better, they said, you've only got 4 months. They've changed the whole medical standard. If it was anybody else, it was good for life, right? But with me, they said, I'm now good for 4 months. Now, I think it's a much longer period, but who the hell knows? Well, we'll know soon enough. We're on track to deliver 100 million doses of a really great, safe vaccine, and we have some of the greatest companies in the world. They're right at the doorstep. And if I weren't president, if you had Sleepy Joe as your president, it would have taken you 4 years to have a vaccine. You would have never had a vaccine. What we did with the FDA, they said, sir, we'll need approximately 2 years. I said, how about 1 week? We moved up the schedule, and yet very, very safe. We will vanquish the virus and emerge stronger than ever before. Our country will be stronger than ever before. And what I did only because of you and the double state, with the double treatment, we spent a lot of money. We now have a new little thing. We have a big board that shows different things. And here's some of the governors talking about the incredible job we did on COVID or the China virus. Take a look.
The fact is, every time I call the president,
efforts and acts of mobilization, and the federal government stepped up. We needed help, and they were there.
He said everything that I could have hoped for, and we had a very long conversation. And every single thing he said, they followed through on.
We've got to have double the number of ventilators that we requested for that area of the state, and in fact, we got them in, frankly, short order.
Have we lost anyone because we didn't have a bed, or we didn't have a ventilator, or we didn't have healthcare staff? No.
And the president was extending support for new swabs. So conversation, commitment, promise made, promise kept.
Because he's forgotten his own plans. Watch Biden's staff quickly swoop in to shuffle him along during a quickie escape the basement trip to Pennsylvania.
Here's the deal. One of the things that is important is that keep in mind, although they're going to vote on I think today.
That was terrifying.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, we'll find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
56% of Americans said that they were better off today than they were 4 years ago would have been under the Obama-Biden administration. So why should people who feel that they are better off today under the Trump administration vote for you?
Well, if they think that, they probably shouldn't. 54% of people are better off economically today than they were in the administration. Well, their memory is not very good, quite frankly.
A few moments later.
Bernie is a proud Democrat for the Senate. So vote! Vote! Visit iowa.com/Ohio. Got in trouble when we were running against the senator who was a Mormon. I was the governor, okay? Well, their memory is not very good, quite frankly.
You know, we have a great, great country, but we have a country with tremendous potential, a country that can be greater than ever before. We can't do this to ourselves. We can't. And I personally don't think he's a nice person, but that's okay. I don't think he's a nice guy. If he was a nice guy, I probably wouldn't have put those clips up. But those clips are just a few of many, many, many clips. And this happened over the last couple of days. You can't do it. For instance, if he were here with you today, he'd say, I want to thank the people of Ohio for being with him. No, he's done that 7 different times. And once you do that, it's over. You just walk off the stage. You can never make a good speech after that. Nobody's going to go home and say, that was a great speech, except for the fact that he called us the wrong state. Joe Biden has surrendered his party to the rage-filled socialists, Marxists, and left-wing extremists, and that's what you're going to have, and you can't let it happen. The Democrats have spent the entire year inciting violence, hatred, and hatred against our police. Without our police, we have very little. Last night, the city of Philadelphia was ransacked by violent mobs and Biden-supported people. These were all Biden-supported people. And he wouldn't even call them out. This morning, they said, please call them out. He doesn't want to get involved because he doesn't want to lose the radical left. Stores were looted, police cars were burned, and dozens of officers, great officers, were injured. Biden and Harris stand up, and they stand with the rioters and the vandals. I stand with the heroes of law enforcement. It took generations to build the America we know and love. But if the radical left gains power, it will take them only a short period of time to destroy it. This election day, you must stop the anti-American crazy radicals. They are crazy. That's why I say this is the most important election in the history of our country. I never thought I'd say it because we had a time last 4 years ago, but they've gone absolutely insane. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician, but big tech will not allow that to be said, and the media will not say it. What he has done is horrible. The money from China, from Ukraine, from Russia. The wife of the mayor of Moscow gave him $3.5 million, the son. The son had no job, no nothing. Got $3.5 million. They put him on the board of Burisma, $183,000 a month. And I understand a $3 million upfront payment. I think they could have had him for less. China gave him $1.5 billion to manage, even though he's never managed money before. And I asked people on Wall Street, is that common? They said it's not common even for us. They don't do that. And that was after a meeting that lasted 10 minutes, flew in with his father on Air Force Two, flew back with $1.5 billion to manage from China. And then the big one, and I guess this one maybe got caught. And I give a lot of credit for last night. Tucker Carlson did a great job last night. Because he was willing to call it out. By the way, follow up. Sean Hannity did a phenomenal job. You look at Sean Hannity and Laura did a phenomenal. They're getting that word out. The great Lou Dobbs. Jesse, we have a lot of good support, but the problem is we got to have more because look at all those people up there. Look at them. Every one of them, they turn their camera off if I even talk about this. Think of it. They turn their camera off. If I mention Biden corruption, they turn their camera off. And yet they'll do stories about me left and right, stuff that's so untrue. No, it's unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable. It's been a lot of fun being your president. I got impeached over a telephone call. Congratulations on your victory, President of Ukraine. But we had good stick with the Republicans. The Republicans stood by. In Congress, 197-0. How about that? That's pretty good. Last night in that hour-long interview, the Biden family business partner revealed the depth and extent of Biden corruption. And if you walk out, your vice president, and your son walks out with hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's got no real capability, I would say that's corrupt. I would say it's corrupt. But Joe got a piece, right? for the big guy, right? They said we're going to keep 10% for the big guy. They call him the big guy. I don't think so. Joe was personally involved in establishing corrupt business dealings with China. At the same time, he was letting China plunder our jobs and destroy our businesses, our factories, our workers. Another report showed that the executive of a Chinese company that paid the Bidens at least $5 million was under surveillance by the U.S. government as a likely Chinese spy. This is all, this is all down, documented. They won't repeat it. Could you imagine if I did this? No, seriously, could you imagine? I had a conversation. Congratulations on your victory. I never met the president of the Ukraine. I called him up. One of my great people, thank you very much, said, please call him and congratulate him. I said, who is he? President of Ukraine. And I got impeached, think of it. And we went through hell for 6 months, our country. And they spied on my campaign. Before I won, they spied. And after I won, they spied. And let's see what happens to them. Let's all see. And by the way, Obama and Biden knew all about it. Obama and Biden knew all about it. If Biden wins, China wins because China will own the USA. He's going to own it. They're going to own it. President Xi, I know him well. He has not got the same problems that Biden has. He is a very sharp guy, very smart guy, very cunning guy. He'll own the United States. I've charged them billions and billions and billions of dollars in tariffs. I gave $28 billion, thank you very much, China, to our farmers because they were targeted. When we win, you win, Arizona wins, Nevada wins, and America wins. We're thrilled to be joined tonight by some really great friends of mine, and they're warriors, and they're fighting hard. Your governor, Doug Ducey, he got you opened up. He got you opened up. Where's Doug? Where's Doug? You look good, Doug. He got you opened up. You're open. Thank you very much. And I hear we're doing well, Doug. We're doing good. I'm going to be so angry at you, Doug, if I don't get there. I'll call Doug. Doug, how are we doing? Well, he won by about 17 points. I'd say that's not so bad, right? Thank you, Doug. Great job. Great governor. Somebody who's done a fantastic job in the Senate, and she's respected by everybody there, including me. She could fly those planes very easily that we just saw overhead. Senator Martha McSally. Martha McSally. Great, great. So, Martha's opponent wants to get rid of your Second Amendment. I don't think so. If you talk about nothing else, right? He wants to get, his whole thing is he wants to get rid of your Second Amendment. They want to take your guns away. You can't let it happen. Will you please win? You got to win, okay? She's tremendous. And you could fly those planes, right? She's the only one in this whole group that can. Congressman Paul Gosar. Congressman, great job. Great job, my warrior. He's a warrior. Thank you. Great job. We're doing okay, right? I hear we're doing good. Thank you. Congressional candidate Daniel Rotemar. Daniel Rotemar. He's a really smart guy, but don't mess with him. He was a professional wrestler. You're a big dude. But I hear you're doing well. I hear you're really doing well. That's good. Well, we're with you 100%. You know that, right? And Jim Marchant. Jim, congratulations. I hear you're doing well, too. You and Daniel. He's doing good, Dan? I think so, right? I hear good. 2 winners. Arizona GOP chair, who I've liked right from the beginning, Kelly Ward. Kelly. Now, if we lose, I won't like her anymore. I'm going to say you're fired, Kelly. I'm sorry. But I hear we're doing well, Kelly, right? Really well. Yeah. You have no idea. When you watch this stuff in the fake news, you watch it, you say, oh, man. But the real numbers are we're substantially up. And also, we're up in Nevada. We're worried about the governor because he's a political He headed the political club. That's some club in Nevada. They send out millions of ballots, you know. They found some in the garbage can with the name Trump on it, military ones. The name Trump was on it. I said, what's that happening? But we got to be careful with the ballots. We do have law enforcement watching in your state. You know that? We have law enforcement. Because it's illegal to do bad things. Nevada GOP chair, Michael McDonald. Michael, it's good? Going good, right? That's really good. And we have somebody else who's been a friend of mine for a long time, respected by everybody. Former Nevada Attorney General Adam Laxalt. Thanks, Adam. You are something. We're doing okay, right? You got the cheating, you're watching the cheaters and all those people that send in the phony ballots, the triple ballot. No, you had Virginia. They sent in 500,000 phony applications. They had another one. Thousands of ballots were printed. They had one problem. They forgot to put the name President Donald Trump on the ballot. That causes a little problem. History says you don't win too many of those. No, it's very, very dishonest what's happening, but hopefully the courts will protect us. They have to protect us. We had a big win, actually, yesterday in Wisconsin, you know that, where the United States Supreme Court said, I'm sorry, we have an election. You have to get it in. You have to get it in. Some of these people in Nevada, they want to have the election. They want to have the count weeks after November 3rd. So let's all wait for the governor to count them up good. And how many is he going to add during that 2 weeks, right? A man who I've known for a long time. He's an incredible guy. He's a tough guy. He's respected like you wouldn't believe. Made a lot of money with something that he truly loves. UFC President Dana White. He's incredible. This guy, what a job he does. If there was ever a case for loving what you do, he sees these fighters, they want to rip you apart, and he goes up and he likes them a lot, right? They're your friends. Dana's fantastic, and he has done a fantastic job with some of the highest ratings on television. Dana White, UFC. I'm glad he likes me. And another friend of mine who was treated very, very poorly by big tech, but he's smarter than all of them. And he figured this out a long time ago, and he's got a very successful book that just came out. Charlie Kirk. Everybody knows Charlie. Great, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We built almost 400 miles. I'll tell you what, the wall, they kept saying, right, the Democrats, we don't need a wall. We need drones, all they wanted. They talked about drones so that we can watch thousands of people pour into our border. We're all set. We have drones. We have such technology within this wall. We got exactly the wall that the Border Patrol wanted. I negotiated with them, but they didn't want to talk about it. They wanted steel. They wanted concrete inside the steel. They wanted rebar inside the concrete. We got everything. And they wanted wires all over the place to hook up the technology. And the Democrats said a wall is obsolete. I said, wall will never be obsolete. And you know the other thing that will never be obsolete, right? Walls and wheels, right? Everything else is obsolete about 15 minutes after it's developed. Joe Biden has pledged to have open borders. He even said, maybe we'll take down the wall, one of the biggest projects in the history of our country. His plan would completely obliterate so many of the things that you want. He would do things that you would never have, that you would never accept. He will do things that are so far left that we're not going to talk about him today. He will do things that will destroy our country. This would trigger a tsunami of illegal immigration. They want to have free health care for all, free education for all. Everybody gets a lawyer. That's just what we want, is a new lawyer. Everybody. Everybody gets a lawyer. No, we can't have it. We can't have what he has. He's also pledged, and he pledges this strong, but the good news about him, he can pledge, and about 5 hours later, we'll have no idea what the hell he pledged. But Washington Democrats continue to attack our wonderful members of ICE and the Border Patrol, more than half of whom are Hispanic Americans, and many of them are here today. And I'm very proud to receive the endorsement from some of the toughest people on earth. In fact, I think they could actually go to Dana, and some of them could be nice, good fighters for Dana. National ICE Council, the union representing our incredible ICE officers, and a man who's been a friend of mine for a long time. He's the head council president. Just got the endorsement, Chris Crane. Where is Chris? Where is Chris? Where is he? You're looking good, Chris. Could some of your people maybe fight in the UFC? I don't know. What do you think, Dana? Could his people from ICE, they like to fight? I think they could. Dana wants to have them. Give them a tryout. Thank you for all, and thank you for your service, Chris. You do a fantastic job, and the Border Patrol does a fantastic job. These guys, Dana, they go into a nest and they start swinging. I don't want that job. You don't want it. Nobody up here wants it. They go up and and you know what? We have moved out, Chris, thousands and thousands of hardened criminals, horrible criminals, MS-13. We moved them the hell out of our country because of ICE. Killers. As president, I will always stand, Chris, for the heroes of ICE and for Border Patrol. So tell everybody hello. Give them a big hello for me. Incredible people. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, including nearly $1 billion to build the world's most advanced guided missile. You know where it's being built? Right here in Arizona. We also passed VA choice and VA accountability. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. And we then took out the world's #1 terrorist. Soleimani is dead. He's dead. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal. I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. And instead of having these horrible, ridiculous, endless wars in the Middle East, we're making peace. You see what's going on? Everyone's gotten together. There's no blood in the sand. And I was nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. For all different things, believe it or not. Kosovo, Serbia, you know, we're doing trade deals with Kosovo, Serbia. They're killing each other for many, many years. For decades and decades, they're killing each other. 2 countries, they're killing each other. I said, so we're doing a deal with him, deal with him. What are we doing? I'm not doing any deals unless they get together. They got to get together. What do we want to have people kill each other for? We made a deal in like about 15 minutes. And they were in the Oval Office hugging and kissing and saying how much they love each other. And it's going to last, believe it or not. I really believe that will last. But, you know, it's just so natural. Here we are. They want to make trade with us. More than we want it with them. They want to make trade with us. Everybody wants the United States, especially now. So I said, you know what, we'll make a deal, but you guys have to stop killing each other. Don't be crazy. It's nice. Get along. And they're getting along. They're getting along. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities and a vote for the American dream. A vote for the American dream. And always remember, Abraham Lincoln, the great Abraham Lincoln, was a Republican. We have to bring that up because most people don't know that. And I can be more presidential than any president that's ever served, with the exception of perhaps Abraham Lincoln when he's wearing the hat. You know that. When he's wearing the hat, he's very tough to beat. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We'll make it right here in Arizona. We will expand opportunity zones, reduce your taxes, obliterate your regulations like we've done. Nobody has ever done what we've done to regulations, and provide school choice to every parent in America. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. We will defend religious liberty, free speech, the right to life, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might. Nobody has the equipment that we do. We are the envy of the world militarily. Nobody has done. And when I came the first week, I was told by one of the world's most overrated generals, sir, we have no ammunition. Now we have so much ammunition, we don't know what the hell to do with it, okay? All made in the USA. All made in the USA. And we will ensure peace through strength. We will end, sir, right? You like that? USA, 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 USA. Thank you. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, lower drug prices. Look, we took drug prices. Last year was the first year in 52 years where prices went down. I'm very proud of that, but it was just a little bit. But they didn't go up, but they went down. First time. But now I've invoked favored nations. We pay more than any other nation in the world by far. The drug companies hate me. Big Pharma hates me. They are spending so much. And what I did is I made it favored nations. We're the most expensive by far in the world. We now go down to the least expensive, tied with the least expensive in the world. It'll have a 50, 60, 70, 80% reduction in drug prices. And I am not liked very much by those drug companies. So when you see those ads, one after another, they make Sleepy Joe look like peanuts compared to the drug companies. Nobody has more money. Nobody's more powerful in terms of lobby. But I had no choice. I had to do it. I have to do what's right. I don't care. I mean, I have to do what's right. We will protect your Social Security and your Medicare, which Joe Biden, you saw that, Joe Biden tried to obliterate. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon in the United States. We'll be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. Maybe we'll make that a woman too. Maybe we should make that a woman too. What do you think, Michael? He said, make it Nancy Pelosi. That's... Who said that? That's pretty good, I have to say. Oh, stand up, please. Look at this guy. That's pretty good. I didn't say it, I'm just repeating it, you know. They say he incites trouble. He loves trouble. No, I don't. Thank you very much. That was very good. Are you a comedian professionally? Or? Great. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education, finally. It's already happening to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag, right? And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, in God we trust. You know, they tried to take the word God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. You saw that. They did it once. I said, oh, they made a typo. Then they did it a second time. I said, that's not a typo. And then they had the wrath of the American public against them, and they put it back. But that's where they're coming from. For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Arizona and Nevada. And Nevada, I got to add those people. They're great. They've been great. Thank you. you have to stop, I'll start crying. They'll say the president was crying today. The president broke down into tears as they screamed, "We love you." From Tombstone to Prescott, from Phoenix. It's lucky I have a good memory because you can't see this sucker. It's moving like, lucky I have a memory. Ay, 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 would that be bad? You are so lucky, you people, that I took you on this journey with me. I say that to all my people. I say it to all my people as the press just absolutely, they're disgusting. I say it to all my people, you're so lucky. Charlie, you're so lucky I took you on this journey. I say it to all my people. Where's Hope? Is she here? Hope, where the hell is Hope? Does anyone know Hope? Look at Hope. They're so lucky. Look at that group of people. There's Jared. He's making peace in the Middle East. That's all he cares about is peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East. He's a brilliant guy. I'll tell you, you don't get guys like that, but he's done a great job. And you have, Jared. You have done an incredible job. And he's done it the exact opposite of what they've been doing for 40 years. You know that. Great job. Mesa to Human, and from Phoenix to right here in Bullhead. That sucker's moving so much, I see Bullhead. I'm trying to go up, and is my head moving up and down like this? You did a great job of anchoring these things, fellas. A great job. You did a great job. This is what modern, and all you have to do is put another 2 stripes on it, you'll be fine. But we inherit the legacy of American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul to secure our liberty and to defend our freedom. This great state was settled by some of the toughest men and strongest women ever to walk on earth. Arizona is where Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, how about that, became American legends. It's where the great American West became the American dream. And Arizona is the state where generations of pioneers and prospectors, miners, ranchers, cowboys, and cattle hands, marshals and lawmen tamed the frontier, braved the blazing sun that I'm braving today. I'm just as brave as they are. I'm standing up here. I'll be like a lobster tomorrow. And showed the entire world how the West was won. They helped make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are taking it back. Don't ever let a bad thing happen on Tuesday. Don't let it happen. We can't let it happen. Can't let it happen. We're so proud of our country, we can't let it happen. You know, when it goes, you look at Venezuela, this would be a massive version of Venezuela, and it can happen because the ideology is the same. It can happen. Don't let it happen. We are returning power to you, the American people, and with your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Arizona and Nevada, we'll never forget Nevada. We're going to have a tremendous win. Are we going to win in Nevada, please? We got a lot of people here. A lot of people from Nevada, too. We have made America powerful again, our military. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Thank you, everybody.
President Trump wrapping up in Bullhead City, Arizona. He will now head to Goodyear, Arizona, just right outside of Phoenix. We'll have that live for you coming up next here on Right Side Broadcasting. Don't miss it. These rallies today, obviously you saw this one, they're going to be absolutely huge, especially the one today. I mean, the one that we just witnessed was massive. Probably one of the biggest I have seen since we have started doing this here at RSBN. And then the next one coming up here momentarily in Goodyear. Thank you all so much. We're going to be busy. Tomorrow we'll be in Tampa, Florida, and also in North Carolina in Fayetteville. So make sure you watch that. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you all so much. Back to the crew in just a second here in Bullhead City, Arizona. Get out and vote. You heard the man. He said get out and vote, and that's what we got to do. So don't I know it looks optimistic for us right now, but don't be complacent and don't think we got it wrapped up. Get out and vote, and everybody should be doing something to help, because the country is in trouble if Joe Biden wins. So back to the crew now. God bless. We'll see you in a minute in Phoenix.
Does it. Great speech once again from our president, and with a beautiful backdrop. Of course, obviously he talked about a lot of the points of what's in stake in this election in terms of the state of Arizona and the state of Nevada, and of course the state of our country on November 3rd.
Absolutely. And again, I knew he was going to bring up that interview on Tucker Carlson about the Bidens. I'm surprised he didn't go deeper into it. I think he feels that story is breaking and people are going to be looking into it in the coming week.
Absolutely. You also touched upon a lot of things we've been talking about: immigration, national security, your Second Amendment, freedom of speech, and of course all the tech censorship that we've seen with various speakers like Charlie Kirk talked about his Twitter account was taken down. So the president really hammering a lot of key issues in this election and really emphasizes how he's made huge strides across the board: Latino vote, black vote, and a lot of states that were once for Hillary will now flip to President Trump.
Yeah, we had a lot of adversity at this rally today. We had some technical problems early, but even the president had technical problems. The wind was so windy that it was blowing around the teleprompter. Of course, he doesn't need that. We were interrupted by some jet fighters overhead who were doing some mock.
Great moment, by the way.
They were doing some mock dogfighting. One of them released flares. So, the microphones had some problems for the wind. The president's microphone. So, a lot of challenges here.
But nevertheless, another fantastic event. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors. And of course, let's throw a shout out to Donate. If you're watching us right now, thank you so much. Share this broadcast, comment, tell us where you're watching, and we're praying for each and every one of you. But if you want to donate, because it takes a lot of money, a lot of resources to get our crews around the country, and there's a couple ways you can do that.
Yes, the number one way you can do it is to rsbnetwork.com/donate. That's rsbnetwork.com/donate. When you make a donation there, the vast majority of it, almost all of it, comes to us. You can also continue to make donations via YouTube Super Chat. Hit that icon, do the like, share, and subscribe, and get the bell, and then share the telecast later. And of course, also, we'd like once again to thank our partner, the Disney Coin Company. Disney coins are the epitome of made in America, because they're made in the USA by machines that are made in America and by people who deeply love America. The coins are made with genuine silver and copper, and they're valuable. They're a unique and worthwhile purchase, which always means they make the perfect presents. They come in over 20 Patriarch designs, with new designs coming each month, and we at RSBN are collecting these coins, and you can collect them along with us each and every month. Disney Coins is also giving away 10% of their profits back to conservative causes, as we mentioned. So they benefit causes that are meaningful to you, the viewer. So go to www.dismeycoins.com. That's DISMECOINS.com. Check out their inventory. Start your very own collection of Trump coins today. And use the code RSBN at checkout for a discount.
And you know what? They make a great holiday gift as Christmas is coming up. And if you have a Trump fan in your life and you're not quite sure exactly what to give them, try a Disney coin, because we've got a couple here in front of us that are beautiful copper, silver, authentic, made in America, by Americans, by machines that are made in America. So there's nothing more American than giving a Disney coin. So go check it out at DisneyCoins.com. And as you know, here's a good shot of it right there. Now that's the one with him on the wall, right?
That is my absolute favorite. The wall. He's right there. He's kind of peeking over it. He got the American flag and the wall, proudly made in America on the back. Trump Pence 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, these are fantastic. Promises made, promises kept. And on border security, Trump has 100% kept his promise.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, as you expect here at a rally, a major overflow. And of course, here at Right Side, we show you all of that. I heard an estimate earlier about 10,000, 8 to 10,000 people here easily could exceed that.
I would totally believe it. I mean, it was all the way back, I would say 100 yards. I mean, that's the length of a football field. That was almost solid people, and probably a little bit wider than a football field as well. So, and that's just what's behind the rise. That's just what's behind here. So, plenty of people.
Plenty of people. Of course, if you logged on late to this broadcast, I encourage you, when it's concluded, go back and watch when Air Force One actually arrives. What a sight that was to see this plane land on this airstrip with the background of the mountains behind us.
Absolutely, and we're a little bit higher than the runway here, so we had a great shot of the whole thing. We were able to track it coming in. What a beautiful plane, and it's just fantastic when you're at a rally. The people who've come, they've come from, you know, some cases hundreds of miles, camped out overnight, gotten here early, and then there you see the president flying in. It's that is a truly unique experience.
Absolutely. And of course, if you'd like to follow us on social media, obviously if you're watching us on Facebook, thank you so much. But you can go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, as that's another outlet to watch all of our broadcasts. If you want to follow me as well, Brian Glenn TV, and on you on Instagram or in social media?
Yes, on Twitter at @brick_suit, and on Instagram just bricksuit.
All right, signing off here in Bullhead, Siri, Arizona. Until next time, goodbye. God bless. Back to you guys.
All right, if you are watching this live on YouTube or on YouTube, you can go ahead and head over to the stream in Goodyear. We're going to end this stream, and also if you're watching on Facebook or Periscope, we'll be ending the stream you're watching now, but we'll create another one. In the meantime, come on over to YouTube and watch there. Thanks.